the side. He's going to be playing, adding a bit of timber in the forward line, but he'll be starting off likely in the ruck against Josh Edwards.
And look, he'll provide headaches for Perth because of his mobility as well. And you've seen that at AFL level. He covers a lot of ground. He's got a big tank. So that's going to be a key matchup today. But as you see, Burns gone to the middle, Parfitt, the usual suspects, and that's where the game will be won, in my opinion, Paul, at the coalface.
Certainly will. Midfield battle could be decisive. Byrne matched up with Clay Hall. Expect that one to be a battle worth watching here at Mineral Resources Park. Charlie Dean and Elijah Scoble in tandem down the back line. Here we go. WAFL 2026 is go at Lath Lane. Here's Matt Chechens.
And underway, and that man, the late inclusion, Williams, won it down. Clay Hall off the thigh as the Eagles try and work the ball forward. Hand pass too hot to control for the new boy, McRae. That was Dewar, brings it inside. Hand pass was battered down. Eagles still with numbers around the contest. Through the hands of Clay Hall, Baxter Phillip toes the line, just keeps it inside the paint. The dangerous kick inboard in towards the corridor. Byrne has to go in and try and win that football. Kick around the corner from Gross was under heavy duress, and they turn it over. The Demons, that's two kicks inside the corridor that has failed in the early stages. So the first real deep entry inside 50, and again, the Demons' defence manages to hold strong. They take the intercepting mark as we tick up towards the first minute. It's going to be hot out there today. 29 degrees maximum here in Lath Lane as Williams couldn't complete the mark. As they look to load up. Back inside 50 again. Demons trying to hurry numbers back to the ball, and that is rushed through by Connor Singh. Our first score, a minor one at that. It is the Eagles at one behind. The Demons yet to score.
Matthew Taylor with the kicking duties as he takes play to the outer side of the ground. Already has a bounce. Spots an option over the top in Davis with that trusty left foot, but the kick's ineffective. It's brilliantly chopped up by Gross. Gross, a very good season in midfield. His kick, not sure if it was the required distance. The umpire agrees. The handball comes back out to his teammate in McRae. McRae sends this one long. Players fly at the front of the football. Who's going to win out that loose ball here? It's going to be the Demons, but a strong tackle this time by Caleb Datson. Who's going to see that ball thrown up.
I mean, it's positive signs as far as the Demons intercepting and repelling the attacks. It's just their disposal through the corridor that's letting him down.
Williams and Edwards. Ball spills to ground. Heavily contested football at stake here, and the Demons are going to win it out. It comes back to Constable. Off a step, kicks high and long towards right centre wing. Big fist from behind, Ewing. Travels towards the boundary line, gathered by Hitchcock. Eagles with three around the football. Dewar was one of them. Sets it up to the hot spot. Demons with the numbers. Two Eagles flying over the top, no mark. Great work by Wills. Can't get past the second tackler. He's in trouble holding the ball. Great pressure here by the Eagles, and they could be rewarded with the first goal of the match.
Interested to see how Corey Hitchcock goes, former Perth Demon player. Also left the club and played elsewhere in the WAFL before, now suiting up for the Eagles.
Harvey Johnston's got the free kick. He's about 35 metres out directly in front. Only a slight breeze, but conditions perfect for football. To kick the first goal of the season for West Coast at the 3-minute mark. Good solid half forward, can play a bit up the ground when possession gatherers are needed. Johnson from directly in front. He just pulls that one to the right, and it is a minor score. So the Eagles doing all the scoring at the moment. The Demons under a bit of pressure as we've passed the 3-minute mark here at Mineral Resources Park.
We played 17 games last year, just kicked a 1-3. That's a poor miss from Johnston. And it has been a barrage of inside 50s early. That's kick had a lot to be desired. So Matt Taylor just slaloms his way through. Has a bounce, crosses the paint of 50, and it ricochets off his knee in the end. Constable needs a bit more composure. This is the furthest forward we've seen the Demons. So Byrne loads up. The big fly there from Kane Johnston. Then the hurried kick up towards the 2-on-1 that favoured the Demons. It takes a little spin to the right, the Nathan Lyon off spin, and that's the first score for the Redlegs today, just a minor score. The Eagles two behinds as they bring the ball in to the back pocket. Hall. His father, Derek, what an amazing player he was for Geelong. Two-time fairest and best for Peel. Two-time leading goal kicker for the Cardis as well. It's in the genes. Here come the Eagles. Stepping through traffic was Williams, and they cough it up. Byrne, he's been active. Hand pass received now to Constable. The Sandover medalist shows why he was the best player in 2025. The former Cat and Gold Coast Sun lowers the eyes, and now, as we have a look at the replay, just the calm composure, lace out, and a rudimentary mark, and basically this exact same position we saw Johnson have a poor miss. So not much of a breeze here. If anything, just slightly into the face of the goal kicker as he struts on in, and the first major of the 2026 season goes.
Great vision by Constable, driving the ball inside 50, found the lead of Johnston, and Johnson able to convert. Constable's good work for the first goal of the afternoon. Up in ruck was Harding, another one of the new Demons faces, but the Eagles get that forward half entry, but it goes only as far as Baxter Phillip. Phillip is marked, he elects to go in board, 3 Eagles around the football, and now they have a chance, West Coast. And they guide it inside 50 very nicely indeed. Precise kick onto the chest of Burke. And Josh Burke now will look to get the quick answer for West Coast. Josh Burke, 54 games before today. And he has a chance to steer through the first major for the blue and gold. Off that turnover from Phillip, who looked to create an opportunity inboard. Josh Burke from 40 metres out. And he's missed to the near side.
2 poor misses from the Eagles. And Burke kicked 11-3. You'd almost have the mortgage on him putting it through. So Johnston and Burke, with no real tricky win, let the Demons off the hook. So they drive the ball back in. Williams, just no body pressure on him, just rose, plucks the Burley. He goes very high. This will be a big pack of players sitting underneath through the hands. Good spoil at the back there from Singh. The Eagles and Demons getting numbers. Demons faithful begging for holding the ball, not forthcoming. And they wrap it up just 15 metres out. They'll have another ball up. 7.25 minutes travelled. Matt Chechen's here. Thanks for joining us on 7 Plus, your home of WAFL in 2026. Any crummers for the Eagles? There is on this occasion. A little hand pass will pushed off his kick in the end. The Demons through Davis. Sweeping ball. He's going to run out of tarmac. That'll be holding the ball. Great forward pressure from the Eagles. And that's been a feature early for them. It's just their set shots that are letting them down. So Edwards Baldwin, originally out of Kingsley, 60 games to his name. This will take his best effort. He comes in board, kick up towards the hot spot. Big double fist through the ball. The Demons. Riley Wills gets taken immediately. No prior, and a ball up. 8 minutes travelled. It's the Redlegs 1-1 leading West Coast, just the 3 behinds.
The ball inside the Eagles forward 50. In front there was Harding with the palm down, and it's not going anywhere. Just plucked out at the last moment. It's holding the ball. And the free kick will go the Eagles' way on centre half forward. And it's going to be taken by Archie Watt in his first game. And there you see plenty of Eagles players over that contested football. And the prior opportunity there sees the umpire reward the free kick. The umpires Wharton, Forsyth, Harrison and Bevan. So Archie Watt for his first goal in Eagles colours. He's missed as well. So 4 misses in this first quarter for the Eagles. One of them, of course, being a rush behind. And they're not letting their opportunities go rewarded at the moment. Hein Baston is going to take the kicking duties. He goes across the ground onto the lead of Indy Kirk, the son of champion Brett Kirk, premiership player at the Sydney Swans. He drives it inboard to another first gamer in Klusky. Klusky, great chip over the top, and now a chance for Perth to penetrate the 50. Going back is Aaron Clark. And he marks about 30 out from goal.
And guess who, Paul? Who's the man that puts it on a silver platter? It is Charlie Constable. So a golden opportunity for 2 goal assists already for him. And he has 4 disposals now, along with Tom Gross leading that category.
Constable's just got that great match awareness to spot up a player leading back inside that forward 50. And on this occasion, he spotted Aaron Clark, the Demons' leading goal kicker last year, 45 goals. Can he start on the right note? On a slide angle, 30 metres out. That is as straight as a die. The Demons get their second.
So Aaron Clark kicked 45 majors. That was third on the list for the Bernie Naylor medal. What a fantastic addition he's been to this football club. He's kicked 15 goals now. We kicked 14 goals in 3 prior meetings to today, so you can make that 15. It's fair to say he has the Eagles measure as the Demons want to build on that game-high lead as Constable finds Parfitt. Usual suspects from last year. Parfitt chips it up, looking for Clark, spilling back to the ground, couldn't complete the mark. The high fend in tight confines. There's going to be a snap-on goal. That could be from Plusky on debut for the club, and they come from everywhere. Paul Persick, and again, the Demons are making the Eagles pay for cleaner disposal inside 50. Let's have a look.
And you put it so well there, Matt, the cleaner disposal inside 50, more discipline, more numbers around the football, and the Eagles just not being able to find an answer at the moment.
And even if they're not hitting those targets and having the clean mark, you have a look, you saw Clark crash the pack, ball spills down, and then Klasky went bang. And as soon as it left his boot, he knew that that was going to go through for the major. So 3 goals, 1 now to 4 behinds. So the same amount of scoring shots, but the Demons with the early advantage.
The Eagles must get an answer here. Good tackle there by the Demons player. It's play on, says the umpire. Long ball by Byrne inside the 50, but Eagles all over the football. And it's marked brilliantly by Ewing, uncontested. Feeds it off to Marriage. Marriage goes across the ground to Dewar. Dewar down the line he goes. And the Eagles now will want to just settle things now. They're under pressure. Left foot kick wasn't a good one. Numbers all over the football, and there was high contact. And that'll be in favour of West Coast. And he was well collected too, and the umpire will have to bring that one back. That one was just around the head and shoulder area. Taking the free kick was Datsun. And they get some space on half-back. It's marked by Bazzo. Bazzo kicks long towards half-forward. Oh, with a one-hander! Great mark there. Baston didn't anticipate the handball. Even numbers at the coalface. Handball comes out the back. Kick smothered brilliantly by Gross. Gross, good follow-up with the tackle, but the Demons win back possession. It comes out to Edwards. Edwards, handball smothered. A chance for the Eagles to answer. Barnett was the anticipated target for the handball, but they elect to centre it towards half-forward. Chance for Williams. Long ball to the tip of the goal square. Big fist from Dean from behind. Scoble, great follow-up effort, and the Demons cleared the defensive 50. Good shepherd off the ball. Umpire letting it go. Dribble kick along the ground. But it's well chopped up there by the Eagles through Datsun, the former South Fremantle player. Oh, heavy pressure there from Johnson. Umpire calls play on. Harding goes over the top. The Eagles all around it. Whistle is sounded. There's a free kick off the ball. High contact. It'll go the Eagles' way through Datsun. He's been in the thick of things in the last couple of minutes. He's in front of our broadcast position. Datsun, he wants to play on. Commits to a long ball up towards half forward. And the big hands of Jack Williams. And he's going to go back and have a set shot from outside 50. Great anticipation by Jack Williams. He was the only one that went up in that contest. And he has a chance to break the ice for the Eagles in this opening quarter. Jack Williams. We're going to have a good look at this kick. He'll kick from just outside the paint of 50. In front of what is a great turnout here at Lathlane. Starts right. It's coming back, and the Eagles are off the mark.
Experience at AFL level, 42 games for the Eagles, and he makes it look easy, and that's arguably their hardest set shot of the afternoon, Paul, and they managed to negotiate it. So 1 goal forward to 3-1. Probably halfway through this first term as the sun's out. The locals are out in force. Good Friday footy as Parfitt extracts the football, wheels away for congestion, looks for Clark. Well handled this time in tight by Ewing, and Ewing gets wrapped up. And Paul, having a look at Ewing, he's a bit of Bruce Dahl, maybe potentially in that haircut, the flying doormat. We'll keep a look on that throughout the season. It's a
super cool Brucey Dahl.
It is, as Dewar toes the line. Now, if that goes out of play with the rule changes, it'll be a turnover, and players that get ushered over the boundary line, as we've just witnessed, will be a boundary throw-in. So the WAFL conforming with the AFL rules on that rule change this year, as we've got it on the outer side. Constable 5 disposals, as does Clay Hall running off half-back. is currently off the ground having a breather. His first of the day as we have another repeat stoppage.
Been a fast-flowing start so far between both teams.
Yeah, and pretty even possession numbers too, 43 to 41 as far as the disposals, Paul. So both teams locking in as Dewar's kick was awkward, scragged inboard. Parfitt almost dumped on his face. Ball still to be won. The hurried kick out of congestion. The Eagles have numbers. Umpire says free kick, and it was there. So the Eagles will get a reprieve from right half back. Williams the target on this occasion, and well done there by his direct opponent, getting the fist through and out of play. So boundary throw in, 3-1, plays 1-4, just over halfway through this first term at Mineral Resources Park.
On a beautiful Good Friday round one, the crowd is out in full force today. WAFL footy is back, and it's great to have it back. Williams in front position, goes up, got a couple of hands to it. Great work there by Gross, direct handball. Under a bit of pressure now are the Eagles. The Demons' pressure starting to lift after a couple of poor turnovers as well from their back half that allowed the Eagles to have easy opportunities at goal, but it just went unconverted. We've got a repeat stoppage on the outer side. Williams and Edwards. Players getting hands to it. Dewar does well. Can feed it off to Walsh. Walsh goes to the near side. Great work by the Eagles. Lucassen. Lucassen's got some leads inside 50. And he finds one of them in Josh Burke. And Josh Burke had an opportunity at goal, just couldn't convert, but this is from a tougher angle. And he'll look to get the Eagles' second goal. If he can't spot up a lead in the 50, then he'll have to pull the trigger. Josh Burke, 55th WAFL game. He spots a target inside the 50. And the Eagles now have a chance to respond and get the second goal for themselves today. Demons defence just got suckered in there. They weren't able to spot that lead further up the ground. Elijah Hewitt.
And he has every inch of a long-range set shot we've seen at AFL level. He's got a prodigious leg.
Let's see what he does with it for the Eagles' second goal. Just inside the paint of 50. Not much breeze. He starts it right. It's drifting away out to the boundary line and fisted over by the bevy of Perth players deep in defence. Just under 18 minutes gone. Great crowd here for Good Friday footy. They are really out in force today. It's great to see the loyal supporters of both clubs showing their love today. Fisted away by Hindbaston. Gets to the hands of Byrne. Phillip. Looping handball over the top. The Demons looking to get themselves out of pressure. Hindbaston with a dump kick out of the defensive 50. Players going up. Dewar does well. Great turn of speed to regather possession for the Eagles, and they can settle things down. Centering ball to Gross. Decided to play on. Got himself back under pressure, and the Eagles will look to clear. The kick was a Barry Crocker, and now this time they can get things underway, the Demons. They drive it out of the defensive half. Long ball over the top. Parfitt's the intended target. He goes to ground. Ball spills loose. Bodle gets on the end of it. Unselfishly gets it out to Lewis. He couldn't get a clean handle on it. Up goes Johnson. Couldn't get boot to ball. The Eagles look to clear, but it was a dangerous tackle. And the Demons will get the free kick through Kane Johnston. And a chance for their fourth goal of the afternoon. And the free kick was there. Johnston did land above his shoulder. And Johnston will have a chance to kick his second goal from about 15 metres out, almost directly in front. And he's got it.
Just the dangerous tackle, slams through his second. Played 5 times last year, kicking 2 goals. He's matched that within 20 minutes of the season opener here. Good Friday footy. Back into the middle. We're ticking up towards time added on. The Demons have done well from centre clearance work as Constable goes onto his left boot. Bit of a chaos ball in the end. The Eagles do well to get numbers. Only as far there as Wills. Loops the hand pass, plays the 1-2, steps through traffic and bangs it through. The Demons on fire. Well, it was just through sheer will. They extracted the footy from the middle. Constable with a bit of a dump kick on his left boot. And the Demons did well. There's a heavy collision attempting to mark the footy. The crumbs fell over the top. And a mere formality in the end, as the Demons now have kicked 5 for the term. And that is the biggest lead of the afternoon. So Riley Wills, 20 games in 2025, including 6 majors as well. So valuable at the coalface and can finish it inside the 50-metre arc.
22 minutes gone. The Demons leading by 21 points. Williams got the thump out, and now the Eagles will look to respond. Great handoff by Hall to Gross, 65 metres out, chips it over the top and finds a loose man inside 50. Great work out of the centre by the Eagles. And Tyler Williams, he marks about 40 out from goal.
Well, they needed that, didn't they? Straight away, the easy tap down, and the clearance looked rather easy, didn't it? And Gross, he's impressed me at the moment. He's just making his way off the ground, but his effective disposal there sets up a golden opportunity.
Tyler Williams for the quick response. They badly need this one, West Coast. From 45 metres out with the left foot. That's not a bad sort of a kick. He's put it through. The Eagles get one back. So a much needed response by West Coast just to steady the ship late in this first quarter. 23 minutes gone, and then they suddenly start to find answers as you see the clearance out of the centre by the Eagles. Gross and Hall combining. Chip over the top to Tyler Williams. And Williams just finishes off the great work out of the centre. And a left foot from 45, the icing on that cake. But they are still a long way behind.
13-8, the inside 50 count too, in favour of the West Coast Eagles. And having a look in that windsock over there at the big scoreboard here at Mineral Resources Park, it's hanging limp. If anything, there's only a gust of breeze blowing across from our commentary position to the far side of the ground. So the Demons at the moment far more efficient inside 50 as they looks to shark his own tack there, and they go further forward through Harding. Player held without the footy. Umpire says play on, out towards Parfitt. What can he do? Ran into trouble, got the effective hand pass away in the end. Just putting the car into reverse. There was Johnson. He was almost running the other way. Did the U-turn. What he did last season. So Johnson slams through his third. He looked to be running into a cul-de-sac and then managed to drop the anchor, wheel around and bang through his third. 6-1, plays 2-4 in the dying embers of the first term.
And then in a quarter that has had stoppages be in a rarity. It's been fast and free-flowing as many would expect between these two sides. Out of the centre. Eagles with the numbers, but they still lose out through Kirk, but they manage to recover. They get it out to Hall. Piercing ball inside 50. Chance for the Eagles. Great pick-up by Burke. Pulls it back and has missed to the far side. 2-5-17. The Eagles now with plenty of missed opportunities. Taylor will send it back into play. Driving ball towards centre wing. Lewis at the back. Couldn't hang on. Off hands and then driven to the ground. Was the first gamer in Indy Kirk. Kirk, of course, the son of Brett Kirk, as we mentioned earlier, former Sydney Swans premiership player. He had a couple of seasons in the VFL squad.
Played 43 games for the Swans.
He did. A couple of seasons under his belt before he made his way over to Perth. And speak of the devil, there he is. Nice little give to Byrne. Wheels around onto the right foot. Piercing ball, Dewar couldn't complete the mark. He recovered well to give it off to Hall. Hall's under a bit of pressure, was dispossessed but recovers well. Not enough time and space. Just has to send the kick to a contest. Players flying. Bit of a collision there between one Eagle and one Red Leg. Plenty of high dump kicks towards the centre. Big fist from behind came from Harding. And he'll find the sanctuary of the boundary line. And he gets a round of applause from the loyal Demons fans that are here today.
25-metre spoil for the big guy.
That was worthy of a kick, no doubt about that. So a boundary throw-in just in front of the Eagles bench. We've played 26.5 minutes in this first quarter. Great to have your company on 7+. Round 1 of the Sullivan Logistics WAFL Premiership season. The Eagles able to pluck it out now through McRae into the direction of Hall, who goes by hand to Dewar. He gets taken to ground by Parfitt in a good strong tackle. Will ball it up about 70 metres out from the Demons' goal. In front position was Harding. Got the palm down to Constable. Constable under pressure from Hall. Now the Eagles recover, but the whistle has sounded. It's a free kick. The non-controlling umpire has found one, and it's going the way of the reigning Sandover medalist. Charlie Constable, premiership player with the Gold Coast in the VFL, has made his way to Demonland and found success right away. A long ball towards full forward. Players going up. No mark. Johnson looking for 4 in the first quarter. Ball plucked out the back of the contest. Klusky under pressure from a couple of Eagles. They're able to recover. Great work by the Eagles. Hurried kick by Grego, clearing the defensive 50. It's 2-on-1. Big spoil from Watson. And we'll find the boundary line on the outer side. A throw in, 27.5 minutes gone. The Demons leading by 20.
Tell you what, Paul, we've seen some huge flights from Angus Lewis out of Calabaron in the wheat belt. Tam Cats. They breed them tough out there in the Avon Football Association. And a good breeding ground for Perth Demons players as the ball comes in. That's going to be a shallow throw in. Harding did well, liked his craft there. And they'll come forward again. Constable slaps it onto the right boot, 2-on-2. Parfitt applied a bit of front half pressure. Dewar, hand pass received. Got time and space, looks to chisel one out towards the wing. They'll turn it over, but good pressure. Coming through with a big fist there from Watson. Back towards Dewar, did well. Walked the tightrope in the end under heavy pressure. Drives it, 2-on-1, favouring the Demons. They get numbers there, but somehow it ends up in the hands of Williams. And the Eagles can go away. They've got Hewitt all on his own. How will it sit up for him? He's got an eternity as he picks up the crumbs, strolls in, and makes the Demons pay end-to-end footy. And it ends up with the mercurial Elijah Hewitt with one of his more rudimentary, as we have a look, goals, and they just got numbers forward of that contest. Hard running from Williams. They linked up. Hewitt was all on his Pat Malone inside 50. The only thing that was going to beat him, Paul, was possibly the quarter time sign, which we're waiting on as we're deep into time added on in this first term. But that is a pretty good response from the Eagles, and to their credit, whenever the Demons have kicked a major to the right of screen, the Eagles have answered. But it has been vice versa as well. The Demons have also been able to answer. So it's been an ebb and flow first quarter, and the fans are really enjoying it at the moment. They've packed out the outer to the left-hand side of the stand and also on the shade. Absolutely magnificent. You can't ask for anything better on this Good Friday, round 1 of the Sullivan Logistics WAFL Premiership season, live on 7+. The margin is 14 points, 29.5 minutes gone. Again, Harding got the tap out, and the clearance work. Again, the Demons' greatest strength is Burns, sends one long up towards full forward. Going up was Bazzo, couldn't hang on to the mark. Demons with the numbers. Parfitt gets it out to Wills, has to do a U-turn. Goes left, then right. There's the siren to end the first quarter here at Mineral Resources Park. A great first quarter. Ebb and flow. High standard football to open the WAFL season of 2026, and it's Perth leading the West Coast Eagles 6-1-37 to 3-5-23. Johnston with 3 goals, Clark, Klusky and Wills with the other goals. Hewitt with 1 goal for the Eagles. Jack and Tyler Williams each on the board for West Coast as well. Brendan Parfitt on your screen there. Had an all right first quarter. Of course, last game he played before the first semi wasn't too well. He'd been battling flu, but he still got out there and played a starring role. Rumours were that he couldn't play today, but he's out there on the field today. And they also breed them tough in Demonland at the moment. It's quarter time here at Mineral Resources Park. The Demons leading by 14 over the Eagles. Back with the second quarter after this. Quarter time here at Mineral Resources Park on this beautiful Good Friday, round 1 of the Sullivan Logistics WAFL Premiership season on 7+. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you, keeping you company with this clash between the Demons and the Eagles. And it's Perth leading 6-1-37 to
after 3-5-23. What really stuck out in that first quarter, Matt, was the Demons' clearance work out of the centre, but they started pretty slowly. They didn't really get in full flight until about 10 minutes into that opening quarter.
Yeah, and the Eagles didn't make them pay with a couple of misses. Josh Burke was one of the culprits for the Eagles, and then you look inside the forward 50 arc, and Kane Johnston, his work rate, his finishing around the big 6 kick, 3-1 in that term, Paul, and he was a focal point, as was Aaron Clark. Managed to earn one off a free kick, but he's also, his impact in marking contests also allowed some of those crummers in the Demons to capitalise on that. So Johnston with 3 goals, Clark with 1, Kluski on debut with a nice little turn off a couple of steps, and then Riley Wills is the other major goal kicker. And then for the Eagles, 3 individual goal kickers for them in the 2 Williams, Jack and Tyler, and Elijah Hewitt with no one in the forward 50-metre arc, dribbled one through on the goal line. So whenever one team, you would think they're in an arm wrestle and they're getting the ascendancy, the other would hit back immediately. So almost tennis-like in their scoring at the moment. And you have a look at the scoring shots, 7-8 in favour of the Eagles, yet they're trailing at the moment, Paul.
Yeah, they're not far behind the Eagles, 3-5. If not for some inaccurate kicking in front of goal, the margin maybe would be a little bit closer, or they'd even be in front as well. But as you described so well, the nature of the game, rare stoppages in that first quarter, it ebbed and flowed in momentum, and the Eagles just not able to capitalise on some of their chances, but the Demons did.
I thought Tyrell Dewar was superb for the Eagles. He's had 12 touches in the first term, so he could be on track for 50. Paul, imagine that in round 1, 9 of those kicks as well, so takes metres, they're impactful as well, and he just provides a bit of class, a bit of polish. He manages to step through traffic, generally makes the right decision, so I've been impressed with his first term. And Tom Gross as well, he's managed to lower his eyes inside 50 where others may have blasted that for the Eagles. And looking at the home team who have their noses in front, I mean, guess who? Charlie Constable, 10 disposals for him, and Corey Byrne, who is maybe outside, isn't really given the credit that he's due, maybe outside the football club, but I know he's very highly respected and an absolute wonderful player for the Demons. He has 9 disposals as well. Kane Johnston with the 4 scoring shots, he's kicked 3-1. He's also had 7 disposals as well.
And you know what, that makes up as well for the absence of Lockie Payton, who's not expected to play until at least round 3 with a hand injury. So Johnson inserted into that forward line does make up for the lack of tall timber that Payton usually presents, and so too Schlenzog, who's not expected to play for a couple of weeks.
What an absolute find that Payton was. It's like finding a $100 bill in an old coat pocket, isn't it? You've got him, and he was in and out. I think coming back, I mean, obviously he's a big out for them, as is Schlenzog, but I just find with Patton as well, he's great around the big sticks, but his forward pressure is also elite. So just remember his debut was superb here at Mineral Resources, calling that on 7+ last year, and he was named as the emergency. So it was a late in. So there's Baxter Gray on screen at the moment as the teams start to head back. Paul, I'll just run you through some of the numbers in as far as the teams go. So possession in favour slightly of the Eagles, 52 to 48% in that. The hit-outs pretty even, as you'd expect, 12 to 10. The Demons leading the clearances 11 to 9. The big number is the inside 50s, with the Eagles having 15 and the Demons just 12. So more of the footy, more inside 50s, more scoring shots, but they're 14 points down, and we'll find out how this second term plays out.
Second quarter about to get underway. The umpires just had to wait for a couple of the fans to get off the playing arena. It's a great crowd here at Mineral Resources Park.
It's a lovely suburb.
Oh, absolutely. And the ground in immaculate condition for these two teams, both expected to build on their season 2025 campaign. The Eagles with 2 wins last year, the Demons finishing in 5th. Here we go with the second quarter.
And we're underway. Clay Hall through congestion. Ends up going with a barrel. Bit of a chaos ball inside the arc of 50. And ricochets off a set of hands, out of play. Clever work there. Tapping it back was Josh Burke. As we said, a couple of misses, but he will still be a key into the start of this second term. So the Eagles kicking towards their headquarters. The Demons towards the Graham Farmer end of Mineral Resources as Williams won it down. In goes Hewitt, dumped in the tackle. Was there prior opportunity? Yes, there was. Holding the ball. Corey Byrne, we mentioned him. And he will take the resulting free kick. In fact, that was Tyler Williams that was done for holding the ball, not Hewitt. And shrugging the shoulders, as with the rule change in the AFL, takes effect here in the WAFL competition for 2026. The Demons through Taylor now. What a campaigner he's been. One time listed player for North Melbourne. We've seen him run and carry the ball a few times already in the early stages of this game. Here come the Demons. They're flooding throughout the outer side. No addition to the quarter time score. 14 points the margin. Long, high, towards the pocket. That mark is taken. Standing up tall, is it that man Johnston again? The tall timber just raised the Dukes. Let's have a look. He manages to just pluck it, a big pack mark, and take every bit of his best effort. And a golden opportunity for the Demons to start this second term off.
And out of all the players in the pack, he was the best judger of that contest. He just got those big Dukes up at the right time, and a great mark in the pocket.
So 3 goals in the first term as the breeze slightly picks up, favouring to the left of screen. Johnston comes in, and he's now kicked 3-2 on the afternoon, and he is giving Cole Horsley all sorts of headaches in the Eagles coaching box.
Short ball, just able to meet its target in the form of McRae. McRae from half-back goes across the ground. That is a good kick. That is a beautiful kick, finding the hands of his skipper in Callum Jamieson. Installed as Eagles skipper just about a month ago as he drives this ball down the line to a contest. Big pack of players, but great anticipation there from his teammate. Now the Eagles can deliver it inside 50. The kick was ineffective, and it's chopped up brilliantly by the former Collingwood player Charlie Dean as he goes across the goal mouth. Hein Baston has got Phillips on the Baxter Phillip on the lead. He's ignored. Finds Davis. Davis just sat and waited, and getting hands to it was Harvey Johnston, and the lasso rule comes in. Last touch rule, and the free kick will go Harvey Johnston's way.
Well, you got to feel for Davis there because he would have been unsighted, but well done to this man with a footy in Harvey Johnston, putting him off in the end, and the ball just ricocheted out of play.
Johnston, his kick smothered. Davis gets one back, and that'll be a boundary throw-in on the Eagles' half-forward line. Austin Davis, one of the barometer players in centre. He's got a trusty left foot and he can play a bit of defence as well. He's that versatile player that the Demons have as one of their handy contributors. Tossed back into play. Williams in prime position, but lost out to Edwards. Dewar. Johnson. Hall does well to give it off to Grego. Runs into a Wills tackle. Just got it away in time. And the Demons look to recover through Phillip. He goes to ground. They get it out to Wills. Hurried kick into space. Out towards centre wing. Great pick up there by Ewing. He gets written into the ground. Hip and shoulder by Johnston. Eagles with numbers out the front of the ball. They get it out to Marriage. Marriage is centering ball just over the head of Tyler Williams, who was one of the Eagles' goal scorers in the first quarter. Evades Scoble. His kick to a one-on-one. And now looking to recover is Dean. Dean goes along the boundary line. 2-on-1 in favour of the Eagles. Dish out to Burke. He's 60 metres out. Centering ball over the head of Kernet. The Eagles must take their chances here. But the Demons again recovering out of the defensive 50. Another dump kick. Marriage. A couple of players out the back. Hurried long ball out towards half forward. Williams goes up. No mark. They get it out there once more to Byrne. Parfitt takes the handball from Harding as he kicks long towards centre. 1-on-1. Wills does well again. The Demons with numbers out the front. Phillip, sweeping handball, and they're away. Byrne chips it over the top, and he's got Kluski. Smart play by Kluski. They've got loose men everywhere inside that forward 50, and it's Angus Lewis who marks. And he's about 35 out from goal.
Well, the big fella will want to put this one through because he turned his back on 3 teammates that were in a more favourable positions. So he's going to back himself.
Angus Lewis, one of his first games back with the Demons side. He only played 6 before today. But can he cap off a fine piece of play by the Demons to get the first goal of the second quarter? Tight angle. But he makes it look oh so easy. The Demons with the first.
5 goals last year from the 6 games, so almost good for a goal a game. As we said earlier, from Calibarron. The Mighty Cats. 7-2 to 3-5, 6.5 thereabouts played as Harding won it down. Taken in the immediate tackle was Archie Watt, and the shrug results in the holding the ball decision. Here comes Byrne, adjacent to the bullseyes. Kicks up towards Clark, but this time out muscled inside his forward 50.
Bazo.
And Bazo, that's an interesting hand pass, was behind his teammate, and that kick was even worse. The Eagles shooting themselves in the foot, and they turn it over to a man you do not want to give an opportunity to, Kane Johnston. He's kicked 3 goals, 2, so 5 score involvements. And a chance for a rare back-to-back goal for either side throughout the afternoon. So we approach 3 o'clock here. Wonderful conditions. Good Friday footy from Mineral Resources Park. Johnston, that is not his best effort, tugging it left straight off the boot. Much like a Paul Persick tee shot on the golf course. Out of play, so the Eagles will bring it back in. Again, risky kick towards Marrick. And Marrick will transfer play out towards the outer side. Plenty of experience in the AFL there, and those linking up. So juggle mark will be paid. Eagles now wheel in board. There was a few Demons players within inside the 5 metres. The umpires didn't see it. Instead, they go wide. So a chance now. What can the Eagles try and muster as far as their leading patterns? Marrick offers something short, off to the right shoulder, ignored. Instead, they go for the shorter pass. They're going to turn it over. So into the hands now of Kirk, running out of room on that outer side, trying to link up with Dean. He's impressed on his debut for the club at the moment, and the Demons can clear towards the outer side, and they've got runners ahead of the footy.
Centering ball is not a good one, and the Eagles will enforce the turnover. This time it was Datsun who decides to go inboard to the near side. Johnston marks and has got a player on his own. Just getting a hand to it there was Soprani. Soprani guides this one inside 50. Just looked a little too rushed to me as the Demons again mop it up on their defensive 50. The kick to a one-on-one. Going back is Jamieson, the Eagles skipper. Great mark by Jamieson in front of our broadcast position. He elects to concede some ground. Finds Bazo. He's going to link up with Jamieson once more, and that just deflects his fingers. And that will be a boundary throw-in. And I'm not sure if any tee shot I have on the golf course is wonky Chechen, so will you be serious? Boundary throw-in. Just on centre wing in front of our broadcast position. We're just waiting for the umpire to get the ball back from the bar, which is packed to the full brim here at Mineral Resources Park. Tremendous crowd here today. 9.5 minutes gone. 22 points the margin. In front was Edwards. Got the tap out. Good hands to Constable. Constable goes with the outside of the boot if you don't mind. Eagles with the numbers in this contest. Going up there was Marriage. Ball spills out to Johnson. This for number 5. That's 4, I should say. So Kane Johnson capping off another bit of play by Charlie Constable. He was able to send the Demons into attack. And then Kane Johnson said, I'm having my 4th goal. He kicked 3 in the first quarter, and then he's followed up with another in the second. 8-3 to 3-5. It's 4 goals for Kane Johnston. And he's having a day out to start the season. Back in the centre. Williams got the palm down. Constable under pressure. And again, it's going to be the Demons out of the centre. Constable handball into space. Marriage. He gets slung to the ground without the football. And that free kick's going to go against Parfitt. And Ryan Marriage, formerly of the Gippsland Power. This is only his 4th game for the Eagles WAFL side.
Originally from Druin, out in the West Gippsland, Paul.
Absolutely.
It's about 90 k's east of Melbourne. Birthplace of one Gary Ablett Sr.
Oh, what a famous face he was. One of the greats of all time. Lucassen pumps this one long inside 50. Oh, great mark. Under pressure. Baxter Gray in his first league game for the Demons. And now they're going to use the corridor. Davis with that trusty left foot. Precise. Lures. Has got some players on the overlap inside the 50. Clark is one of them. He's going to go back, going to ground. Couldn't complete the mark, but it's going to be a free kick. He got pushed out in that contest. And Aaron Clark will stride in to kick his 2nd goal. And there you see that work through the corridor. Davis And then Lewis, penetrating ball inside that 50, and then Clark just getting pushed out in that one-on-one by his direct opponent. And a chance for number 2. And to make the margin 34 points. They've gone in with a couple of goals unanswered, and they can make it 3 consecutive goals in this quarter. So Aaron Clark, 1 mark, 1 goal for Aaron Clark. 45 last season, 3rd in that Bernie Naylor medal race behind eventual winner Tyler Keitel of West Perth. But Aaron Clark is starting strong this afternoon. He's kicked this.
So Clark, mere formality for him. Kicked 40 plus in 2025. He started this, as has Johnston. Corey Byrne, the leading ball winner now, 14 disposals. Stewart leading the way for the Eagles with 13. And if you want to keep up to date, download the WAFL app for today's match centre and also player stats so you can follow along at home. The Demons, it is a game-high lead. They've ballooned out. So ball to be won in the middle. The Demons starting to stand up. How's that? Just a floated ball over the top. Constable linking up with Byrne. Off some knuckles. Didn't matter. Wills closes to 40 and floats it home. Well, we said that in previous years, and a lot of Demons faithful, as we would have said, have seen a bit of insipid football at this location in the last 10 years, but things are looking up. They are playing beautifully at the moment. Constable just linking up. Byrne on the scene as well. And the composure of Wills to go back and kick his second. And the Demons now really putting the Eagles to the sword. How will they respond?
Well, insipid's no longer the word around the Perth Football Club. It's just clinical at the moment.
Isn't it? It's entertaining to watch as well.
Absolutely, and the crowd is certainly lapping it up. 40 points the margin. And by the way, as well, if you want to check out Colts and WAFL W this season, YouTube is the place to be on the WAFL official YouTube channel all throughout 2026. And the Eagles have a chance to respond here. Johnson out to Gross, just hurries a kick out towards the half-forward line. Chance for the Eagles. Pumped around the body this time from Williams. It comes off hands and a minus score. So almost the immediate response they were looking for. But again, just their inaccuracy in front of goal is certainly biting them on the bum quite hard at the moment. Taylor. Send this one back into plays, directing the moves already. Parfitt's kick. Oh, great mark in the end. Lucks of fortune for Watson. Dewar was going for that big leap, just couldn't get a finger to it. Long ball down the line to a one-on-one. Edwards the target, but free kick chopping in the arms this time.
Kids' footy's onto the ground as well, Paul.
Absolutely.
Causing a bit of chaos.
Certainly does. We'll have to wait till half-time to get them on the ground for a bit of kick-to-kick. Parfitt in amongst it. Hotly contested football. And they somehow jar it out, the Eagles, out the back of the contest. And they go out to Tom Gross, relieving the pressure with a dump kick to a contest on centre wing. Going up there was Burke, couldn't complete the mark. Burke gets it out. Handball is a shocker. Hind Baston, dispossessed. A great tackle there by Watson, but he did drag his opponent off the ball a little too long. The free kick will be taken by Cipriani. They badly need a response, just to steady things, the Eagles. I won't say alarm bells ringing, but it's pretty close to it. Here's Dewar. Definitely been one of the Eagles' best this afternoon. Drives it to a contest. Big fist there from Elijah Scoble. And it'll be thrown in the Eagles' forward pocket. Elijah Scoble somehow has had his workload in that defensive 50 eased by the addition of Charlie Dean. They're playing well in tandem in the back line. A lot has been said about the reliance on Scoble in the back line. But now they've found someone who can complement his work and just ease that load on Elijah Scoble in that back line. Harding, not the palm down. Eagles inferior in numbers around the coalface, and that's not going anywhere further. One of the more rare stoppages inside the ground. And the Eagles will want to get a goal that just releases the pressure. Williams, dispossessed. Kernet goes by hand. Chance for Harvey Johnston with the left foot. Doesn't cover much ground, and again the Demons are looking to mop up out of the defensive 50. The kick intended for Bodle. Good fist by Marriage from behind. It comes to Lucasen. Lucasen across his body, not far enough. Williams Williams going to ground, takes a fine mark on his chest. As we see on the replay, Williams just falling back, but he was in good position to mark on his chest, and a chance for the Eagles to get a much needed steadier. Bailey Williams occasionally was in the Eagles AFL side last year as that number 1 ruckman. Can also play a bit up forward too. Laid into this Eagles side this afternoon. He'll kick from about 40 metres out. Slide angle. It's on its way. He's got it. Much needed steadier for the Eagles off the boot of Bailey Williams. Williams converting the good work inside 50. He joins 2 other Williams players, that being Jack and Tyler. Williams kicking 3 of the 4 goals so far for the Eagles. Bailey, Jack and Tyler, and also Elijah Hewitt getting the other. Back in the centre. Bailey Williams knocks it down. Harding through traffic, can get it out to Constable. Constable sets it up. Long ball inside the 50. Johnson waiting down. Gets a kick away. And an easy mark this time. And it's Bodle who's got the mark in the forward pocket. As we see here, Johnson just getting boot to ball in the nick of time. But it was good enough for Jack Bodle to take the mark on his chest.
Well, the Eagles querying if that travelled the required distance. They might have a case there.
Bodle for the Demons' 11th goal of the afternoon. He slots it through. So the Demons with 5 goals to 1 in this second quarter. We've hit the 20-minute mark. As we see here, Bodle getting the Demons' 5th goal on a bit of an angle, but sometimes he makes the difficult look easy. And the Demons really getting into top gear with a 5-goal quarter. 2 kicks, 2 marks, 1 goal for Jack Bodle. And the Demons lead at 11-3 to 4-6. The Demons, whenever they take their chances in front of goal, they rarely seem to miss, Matt Chechens. They at 11-3 to 4-6. And the momentum is all with the Redlegs.
Yeah, and fortuitous goal there for Bodle. Balladura product there at Kingfisher Reserve.
Very good ground there over at Kingfisher.
Yeah. The mighty Royals loved Harding's work in the ruck, and they stream forward again, kicking up towards Johnston. The Eagles flood back, and Ewing runs out of tarmac, and a ball in right next to that behind post. The ground looks immaculate. The crowd are filling in.
Inside 50 count really telling, 26 to 20 in favour of the Eagles.
Yeah, and they led that comfortably at quarter time as well, as that throw-in comes into Byrne and almost volleyed it onto his boot, and misses to the near side. A rare miscue for the Demons. 11-4 plays 4-6, ticking up towards time added on in this second term. Season opener here for 2026. As the Eagles players flood towards this broadcast side. Very high kick, off hands. Hewitt did well, batted down the hand pass, but they turn it over yet again. Harding, they say don't handball to a ruckman, but he did well there. The big fella allows the opportunity for Johnston. I think that ball may have just crossed the paint. The umpire was right there. Johnston still tries to barge his way through, wrapped up in the tackle. Not rewarded. The umpire's letting them play. The Demons still there. Bit of good fortune for them. A flying snap out of the pack will miss from Indy Kirk, and maybe 3 or 4 free kicks could have been warranted for the Eagles there. They dodge a bullet as Kirk couldn't muster his first goal for his new club here in the Redlegs. So 11-5 to 4-6, just over 22 minutes. Have a lap, second term.
Grego sends it long. Again, they're flooding towards the broadcast side. Barnett, the only one that went up. Great mark at full stretch. Took the mark of the year in 2025 down at Steel Blue Oval. And notably, a big fly marker is Barnett as he drives it long down the line to a contest. Williams, the leading man. Ball spills out the back. Parford just got it out in time. Williams gets it back across his body and up and under. Was touched off the boot, and it's out of bounds. We'll have a throw in and a little bit of how do you do from players of both sides. It is round one. There's always going to be a bit of that tension around. And I'm just noticing on the bench, the Eagles putting up the 3-16 sign. Might be familiar to you, Matt.
Yep.
That could be the bottom line for the Eagles. They're in a bit of trouble.
So Stephen Austin.
There we go. Boundary throw in on the forward side of centre for the West Coast Eagles. Another one here will just spring them up a little bit. But the Demons, they've looked good all throughout the first half despite a slow first 10 minutes. Dewar barging his way into the contest. Did catch Watson high. And the umpire finds that free kick. So Watson, he's got options aplenty. And the Eagles' numbers have pushed back as a result. Long ball from Watson, 2-on-1.
Yeah.
And a nice easy mark.
Poor decision in the end, wasn't it? Because he had Parfitt and another teammate on his left shoulder, and just about everyone sitting in the grandstand, probably 300 Perth faithful, screaming, but it was ignored and turned the kick over.
Long ball, big fist from behind from Williams, gathered brilliantly by Tyler Williams. He feeds it off to Hall with the left foot. I'm afraid that's not a good kick. Dean and Watson were going for it, but in the end it was Dean that took the mark. Phillip across the ground. He's got some time and space. Goes to Taylor. Using the corridor very well here, the Demons. Leaving it to the last moment. Taylor over the top. Byrne gets past one. Over the top to Phillip. Throws it onto his boot up towards full forward. But only as far as the big Eagles defender in Jack Williams. In fact, that was Jameson, I should say. As the Eagles just steadying across half-back. Just not able to go past that forward side of centre. It's been all the Demons as a result of their forward pressure. Considering they've only had 4% more of the possession, have the Demons than the Eagles so far in this game. It's in the half-back flank. Johnston, not a good kick. It's going to ask a lot of Jack Williams. Goes over the top to Johnston. Johnson, floating ball up towards centre wing. Constable went up for the Demons, off hands, and it was off the knee.
Potentially that message from the Eagles on the interchange gate was probably just to take the air out of the footy, Paul, and a couple of miscues resulted in that hurried kick, and that opens the door for the Demons potentially to score a late goal. So tossed in, 25 minutes. Harding trying to get cute there with the tap in. Work further forward, Constable, and he's met front on. Good strong work from Gross. No further forward progress for either team, so a ball up. Harding again. Looks to win it down, and we reset yet again. Josh Edwards having a spell on the ball now. Ball one down this time from Edwards. Constable wasn't clean below his knees on that occasion. The Demons begging for the free kick, and it's going to be forthcoming, so they turn it over. Constable. Prior opportunity, said the umpire. So he'll look to horseshoe it all the way back. Well, the umpire blew his whistle, thinking that the mark was going to be completed. Mere formality, as did everyone else from Scoble, but they have the composure, so it'll come back to Scoble. Demons look to spread from centre half back. Taylor's on the 45, but he elects to go towards the outer side to Dean. Dean can peel one off in towards the corridor. They're lining up the Red Legs, and they'll have to do what the Eagles have been trying to do for the last couple of minutes, just slow the tempo of the game down. So Cashard, dangerous kick out wide, and the umpire says that's a good enough mark on that outer wing. Taylor didn't travel the required distance, so that put him under immediate pressure. Here come the Demons, just striding through the middle of the ground. He's run a long way, just gets the hand pass off in time. Patton, rather that's not Patton. He's kicked up forward. He's not playing today. Over the top. This could work out in the end for the Demons, and it does. Well, just like that, the Eagles try and take a bit of air out of the footy, and some clean disposal results in another major for the Demons. So that will break a little bit of the spirit, you would say, as we have a look at the replay. And it was great build-up play. It's been a feature of the Demons, and making it look all too easy in the end, the Demons, Paul.
Yeah, they are at the moment, especially through their run and carry around the midfield. And their conversion rate has been very good. 3 goals for Aaron Clark. He's starting off very strong. And Kane Johnson at the moment with 4 goals. And Aaron Clark, you see there, 1 goal in the first and 2 in the second. 3 for the day third place in that Bernie Naylor medal leaderboard last year. And he's starting with a flourish, and so are the Demons. 12-5 to 4-6, 28 minutes gone. Williams wins it down. And that ball's not going anywhere further. A gang tackle. The umpire says, I'll have it. Demons will no doubt go into the long break very pleased with their efforts around the ball in particular. The Eagles, 4-6-30, not a good scoring rate in just a half of football after starting off well in the early goings. Williams and Hewitt amongst the goals in the first half just haven't been able to maintain that run of momentum. And the Eagles enter toward their forward 50. Burke spilling the mark, one that should have taken. Burke's there for the second go at it, but he's mopped up in a good strong tackle by Dean, and the Demons again work their way out of the defensive 50. Advantage is paid. Parfitt takes it on, drives it down the line, and in the end, Jack Williams takes the intercept mark and will look to just hold things up as long as he can for the Eagles. Hall. His 29th WAFL game in the blue and gold. Goes with that left foot. No real leads presenting. Kicks to a contest, using the body, but a push out. It's going to be a push out free kick. It's against Scoble. There was hands in the back. Scoble not too pleased with that one, but the umpire was right there on the spot. Long ball inside 50. Dewar's out the back. He goes for the big fly. Couldn't hang on. Bodle recovers well. Hurries the kick. Clearing the defensive 50. Oh, great gather there. Tremendous gather by Johnston. He's having a day out with 4. Swings one way, but he won't need to do so. There's the siren as he tosses the ball to Archie Watt's head. And his teammates saying that was uncalled for. Oh, we got a bit on here. The co-tenants exchanging pleasantries here at Mineral Resources Park. And the umpires having to come in and separate this little bit of argy-bargy at the moment, but it's in vain. I don't think the act was needed, throwing the ball onto Archie Watt's head, and that's what sparked this little argy-bargy at half-time.
To be fair, Johnston was met by Watts a little late, so Watts was probably the instigator, but as you said, Paul, probably didn't warrant the ball being thrown, and lucky not to give away a late free kick.
Absolutely. Half-time here at Mineral Resources Park. The Demons with another strong quarter. They've kicked 6 goals in each of the first 2 quarters. The Eagles held to just 1. And the Demons lead 12-5-77 to 4-6-30. The Demons, despite a slow start, took them a while, first 10 minutes to get going, but they really started to put the hammer down in the first half, didn't they? As the Eagles and the Demons go to their rooms, the Demons, they'll have a great round of applause from their fans. Half-time here at MRP. It's 12-5 to 4-6. Back with the half-time analysis after this.
Hey Siri, how to connect Bluetooth to Mac truck?
Sullivan 2, what's your position?
Just a midfielder, mate. On your left. Oh, come on, get out of the way.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Oh, don't tell me you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
How do we know if the construction industry is moving forward in WA? Oh, there are signs. Big ones, small ones. Sometimes tried and tested, sometimes signs of tomorrow's industry. But there's always signs of progress, once you know where to look. That's why Construction Training Fund is leading the way for a more skilled and more sustainable construction industry in WA. Authorised by the State Government, Perth.
Half-time here at Mineral Resources Park on this Good Friday, and it's the Demons making a Good Friday for themselves. They lead 12-5-77 to the West Coast Eagles 4-6-30. Paul Persick and Matt Shetchens with you. Matt, 6 goals in each of the first 2 quarters for Perth after not really getting into full gear until the 10-minute mark, but then they really put the hammer down and asserted their dominance through their clearance work in the midfield.
Well, if you have a look, the Eagles had more scoring shots at the end of that first term. They kicked 3-5, and we thought they had a couple of poor misses. It is early round 1. And Perth was 6 goals 1, and then you look at that, they've kicked 6 goals 4 in the second term to just the 1 goal 1. So that was on the back of the Eagles having more inside 50s. As we look through the team numbers, 28 to 23, they've had 5 more entries inside their forward arc, have the Eagles. And you have a look at the rebound 50s, and that's where Perth have really been able to slingshot through the agency of Davis, Taylor, but you also look at the new recruit, the ex-Magpie, Charlie Dean. He is providing just such a wonderful foil to Scoble. They've got tall marking targets that can lock down on their opponents.
And that's something that we've been looking for, hasn't it,
and
as far as the Demons go?
You have a look, I mean, the clearance is 20 to 15, so they're dominating. I thought Harding has been good. He's probably dominated the hit-outs, but also his follow-up work around the ground. He's clever too. In the rare boundary throw-ins that we see now with the rule changes here that mimic the AFL, but the rebound 50 is 24 to 10. That's huge. So they took some early shelling. There was a lot of high balls coming in the early stages, but they've really found their groove. They've just been more clinical, entering inside 50 and a little bit more composure. And you take into that Kane Johnston, 4 goals. He kicked 2 throughout last season, albeit in limited games, but he has been superb. You throw in Clark, he's had a couple of free kicks, a couple of good pack marks. So the Tall's really doing the job at the moment. They have combined for 7 goals, should we say, Paul. And then you throw in Wills, who's a great crumbing player as well. And it's going to be good signs, obviously, because they're missing Patton, who's one of their main goal kickers, and forward half pressures as well for the Demons. So, look, they're going to be very, very happy in the halftime dressing room, you would say.
But also, it's also their running mids as well that are doing the job too, with Parfitt getting a lot of the ball, so too Charlie Constable with 16, as you said, and also the forwards are really starting to click into gear. And when you look at it, you know, they're without Schlensog and Patton, but they've got still tremendous forward depth.
But you look at Constable as well. He does it at the coalface, 16 touches. He's laid 3 tackles as well. And then you look at Byrne, tremendous ball user, setting up those forward 50 entries. 17 touches, leads the way at the moment in the game.
The Eagles, they've got plenty of work to do against this Demons side, who have got all the momentum. At the half-time break, they lead 12-5-77 to 4-6-30 here on 7+. Round 1 of the Sullivan Logistics WAFL Premiership season in full swing. We'll have the second half after this.
When I look at the sun going down to the sky, all I want is to be there. With a new state of mind, a place I never heard of. I will walk like a dog.
Hey Siri, how to connect Bluetooth to Mac truck?
Sullivan 2, what's your position?
Just a midfielder, mate. On your left. Oh, come on, get out of the way.
You know, there'll be signs you've found the right career. You'll notice that the early mornings are worth it for the early afternoons. You'll start to see the world for what it could be, not what it is, and imagine what you could become. Yeah, some signs will be more obvious than others, but when you start to see them pop up everywhere, you'll know you've found your future. So for a future that's well paid, exciting, and filled with potential, search CTF, authorised by the State Government Perth.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Oh, don't tell me.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Welcome back to Mineral Resources Park, live on 7 Plus. Sullivan Logistics WAFL action in full swing. First round of 2026. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, it's Perth dominant at half-time, leading 12-5, 77 to 4-6-30. The Demons kicking 6 goals in the first and second quarters. The Eagles kicking 3 in the first and held to just 1 in the second. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens bringing you all the action on this beautiful Good Friday in front of what is a great crowd here at Mineral Resources Park. Let's talk quickly about some of the new faces that have come into the competition. Matt, first off for the Eagles, Archie Watt and Callum Jamieson, two that are in the side today. What have you made of Callum Jamieson in his first game as Eagles skipper?
Well, I mean, he's been quiet, but I mean, he's sort of a key role position player, isn't he? So it's going to be tough because obviously trying to lead a team that will have so many changes, or as we saw today, late changes as well in that as well, Paul. But I mean, I think the proof's in the pudding really come the end of the season when we're looking at that. But just the 4 disposals for Jamieson today, 3 of those have been kicks, so yet to take a mark or lay a tackle. So to be fair, they've been chasing their tail, particularly in that second term.
What about Archie Watt? Of course, 30 goals in 19 games over at the Goulburn Valley. What have you made of his performance?
Well, again, a little quiet from him. Yet to kick his first major. Obviously, he's 0-1, so a lot of missed opportunities for the Eagles at the moment. But again, it's going to be hard for players, particularly for the Eagles, to hit the scoreboard for not getting clean ball out of the middle, which they were sort of doing, particularly early on. They had a barrage of inside 50s, didn't they, and just couldn't make the Demons pay. So I think he's going to be a player that's going to be relied on some good ball movement.
What about for Perth? Their new faces have had the better of this contest so far, in particular Zach Harding in the ruck. I thought his ruck work in tandem with Josh Edwards has been impressive.
Yeah, it has. And you look, he's got 12 hit-outs at the moment. He's good with his hands. He's not bad around below his knees as well for a big guy, but he covers a lot of good ground. And like we said, with the new rules at the moment, with the last touch rule, there have been a few boundary throw-ins, and in particular inside 50. And he's a good big body, and he's got a good leap as well. So he's giving the Demons first use of the footy, and you can see that by the clearance numbers to half-time, 20 to 15 in favour of the Redlegs.
heaped a lot of praise on Charlie Dean as well for his first half, his work in the back line with Elijah Scoble. His intercept marking has really been the standout.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, he's managed to take 5 grabs already and just provides that steadying influence as well. And then that allows also you guys like Austin Davis, who's another year older now, but he's got great toe. He plays that quarterbacking role. Taylor as well. We've seen him have a few running bounces throughout the afternoon, the veteran, and taking the game on. And that's something we haven't seen with the Demons in the last probably 5 years. So you can see that their game plan from last year and now transitioning to this year. We saw they turn the ball over early, kicking into the corridor. Those gambles are starting to pay off, particularly in the second term. So it's great to see them not just hugging the wings and out towards the boundary line, but they're taking the game on, Paul, and that's what they need to do from improving on that one solitary win in the finals last year.
Absolutely, they're building on it, and Coach Mark Stone has really upended up that game plan as far as intensity and discipline is concerned. That hard attack of the football, kicking toward the corridor and finding some space.
It takes a long time to come in and change something that's been done and implemented, obviously, in previous years.
And as far as the Eagles are concerned, plenty of work to do, especially when they're moving the ball out of half back and just lacking that opportunity in front of goal. Not too far away from bringing you all the action of the second half. It is the Demons 12-5-77 to the Eagles 4-6-30. Second half coming up shortly.
Hey Siri, how to connect Bluetooth to Mac truck?
Sullivan 2, what's your position?
Just a midfielder, mate. On your left. Oh, come on, get out of the way.
There might be some signs you could use support from Construction Training Fund. Some you know about, some sneak up on you. Whether you've been around for years or days, CTF is funding training and building skills for tradies, employers and apprentices across WA. Last year, we supported over 2,000 businesses to train and employ over 4,500 apprentices. Find out what funding and support is available today to set you up for tomorrow. Authorised by the State Government, Perth.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the round. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Oh, don't tell me you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Second half action about to get underway here at Mineral Resources Park. The Eagles trailing Perth by 47 points. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you on this Good Friday. The crowd in position, ready for the second half. The players and the umpires are geared up as we await the action to commence. Williams again in the ruck for the Eagles, and he'll be matched up on the first gamer in Zach Harding. Here's Matt Chechens to kick off the second half. The Demons leading by 47.
So a pretty consistent effort, 6 goals in each term as Clay Hall puts the handcuffs on Parfitt, and the umpire has spotted a free kick, so maybe that tackle had slipped high. So Parfitt up to 17 disposals now. They drive it inside 50. Ewing sat under the footy. Good mark from him. It's almost lining up in a straight line horizontally from where the mark was taken, but Ewing decides to drive it to the outer side. Good firm fist on the footy, trying to tap it out through congestion there and out of play. Good work from Jake Watson, who's had a couple of good moments throughout the afternoon. Matt Chechens, Paul Persick here. at a hot, sunny Mineral Resources Park.
Scobell being matched up with Barnett on the forward half at the moment.
It'll be a good matchup. We'll see who Dean has got as well. So Harding just managed to use his body. Parfitt under pressure towards Constable. Back to Harding. Just hooks it around his body. Shallow entry inside 50. Good gather there from Kluski. Dewar had so much of the footy in that first term, and then they did well to clamp him. Another handball, almost Groundhog Day. Bill Murray style, inside 50. That is a strong mark. The ump's not going to pay it. Oh, rather stiff. So it did hit the turf. So Oscar Wharton, Mitch Forsyth, Ryan Harrison, Nick Bevan have done a great job. And in fact, there's going to be a free kick. So it's going the way of Grego, who's got it at true centre half back. Just gets the required distance, and we'll see how the Eagles can pick their way through.
Grego combines with Jameson, and the Eagles will look to take it further to the outer side of the ground. The kick was not an effective one, but they do have enough numbers to recover possession, and they take it to the outer side. It's a great mark taken by Lucasen. Swings onto that left foot. Even numbers at the contest. Barnett goes up, ricocheted off the head of Singh. Chance for the Eagles to get the first major of the second half. Handball comes out. It's flicked wide. Williams from 25 metres out heads towards goal and has missed. So the first scoring opportunity to the Eagles, but would have been worth 5 more points rather than just the 1. And the Demons, through their veteran in Matthew Taylor, bring it back into play. The kick intended for Davis, but the secondary target bobbed up in Cashard. Cashard will send it down the line to a contest. Oh, wonderful mark. Lewis again. Clark is leading back toward the boundary line, but not needed. It's 50 metres. Did not stand still on the mark, according to the umpire, and this will bring Angus Lewis closer to goal. And a chance for Lewis to kick his second and the first of the second half. Angus Lewis, of course, had an interrupted year last year. One of his first games back in the league side. He's going to go for that long run-up. Bit of Michael Holding-esque. But will it be a case of whispering death for the Eagles inflicted by the Demons? 3 marks and a goal. Can he make it a second? He's about 40 metres out, slide angle. Just drifting away to the near side. So a minor score for both sides to start this second half. 12-6 to 4-7. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you at a very packed Mineral Resources Park. The crowd really showing up in full force today for both sides. Good Friday footy. Best way to start WAFL football. And a 50-metre penalty, this time against Byrne. Did not stand on the mark, similar to the last one. That saw Lewis come a bit closer to goal. And so Finley McRae, one of the first gamers for the Eagles, originally from the Oakley Chargers. They have to drift play away from the corridor, bouncing in favour of Dewar. Dewar sets it up, high ball. Demons with the numbers in the contest. It comes to Hall, looping handball over the top. Goes only as far as Dean for the Demons. Gaining plenty of territory by hand to Watson. Watson takes a bounce, goes towards centre wing, kicks down the line. It's not a good kick. Falls off the hands of Grego and inadvertently got a foot to it. It's out of bounds on the full. And Jack Kluski, one of the 6 debutants for the Demons today, goes inboard, finds Constable, and they work it to the corridor. Davis, with that penetrating left foot, finds Clark. And he wants to back himself in here. Here is a long kick. He's about 55 to 60 metres out. Aaron Clark. He's got 3 goals for the day. And he's going to pull the trigger in an attempt to make it 4. 3 kicks, 2 marks, and 3 goals. He's going to go from a long, long way back. No real leads presenting in that forward 50. Aaron Clark gives it everything, but it doesn't come off right. But luck's a fortune for the red and black. And it's that man again, Kane Johnston. Kane Johnston, he's going to go for number 5.
Very, very early stake he's making here for the Bernie Naylor medal in 2026.
8 kicks, 5 marks, 4 goals. But he's about to make it 5. 5.
Fifth goal after another good mark, just judging that drop of the footy there. So Kane Johnston, just 23 years of age, already 40 WAFL games to his name. Fifth goal of the afternoon, and you would suggest more to come. Awkward bouncing ball there, and the umpire says no prior opportunity, so we'll go again from the bullseyes.
4 umpires for today, and sometimes those free kicks have been paid by the non-controlling umpire.
Been pretty good today. On the move there was Byrne on the fly, toes them inside 50, bit of a shallow entry. Crumbs gathered there by Bodle, looks to just chip over the top towards Clark. He can put the shepherd on for that man in Riley Wills, and he has been the perfect foil for the tall timber inside forward 50 for the Demons. And as you can see, just the clearance work again from the Demons. Byrne on the fly, tumbled it up. Scoble, the entry inside 50, over the head of Clark, but Wills, his third crumbing goal of the afternoon. So if it's not the taller players, the marking targets inside 50, wreaking havoc at the moment on the league's worst defence last year in 2025 for the Eagles. It is also the crumbing forwards as well.
And it goes to show that Perth have got a highly flexible forward line when you're looking at their tall options and their small forward options that complement each other so well. Johnson with 5 goals, and Riley Wills has got 3 of them, along with Aaron Clark. It's been a day for the forwards if you're a Demons fan, and we've only passed 8 minutes in this third quarter. Out of the centre, Hall gets on the end of it. He's under pressure from Edwards, but was taken high. And the free kick will go the way of Hall. Been one of the Eagles' best so far in this game. On what has been a nightmare afternoon as far as the Eagles are concerned. Hall's kick inside 50. Phillip over the top. Great mark by Baxter Phillip. That brings the Demons fans up and about. He chips it short and then finds Gray. And the 2 first gamers link up out of defensive 50. Kirk has marked on the defensive side of centre. He's going to pull the trigger down the line. It's a floating ball, but it's going to bounce in favour of Edwards. He combines brilliantly with Bodle. Bodle tries to grub one along the ground. Didn't come off with the best result. Sitting and waiting was one of the Eagles players there in McRae. Edwards, high ball up towards half forward. On the second grab, Aaron Clark. He elected to try and spot up Johnston. And the Eagles players saying he played on, but the umpire said, he did not. So Aaron Clark.
Well, that was sensible umpiring on that occasion, wasn't it? Because he could have easily given the 50, but Clark almost looked to wheel and go. And it was one of those 50-50 balls, whether the mark was going to be paid or not.
So Aaron Clark, he kicked a mongrel from a similar distance that didn't even make the distance. But can he make amends here? For number 4. And that never looked like missing the moment it left the boot. 4 goals for Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark, he now is up to 4 goals. As you see his set shot on the replay, just drifting a bit to the right, but the moment it left his boot, he knew that was going straight through the middle. 4 goals, Johnson with 5, and Riley Wills with 3. 15-6 to 4-7. Back in the centre, Parfitt on the end of it. Gives it off to Constable with the left foot, up towards half forward. On the lead, Johnston comes under pressure, but he did get a push out. In fact, that was Edwards, I should say. And Edwards has got the free kick just outside the 50. As the Demons look to crack the ton early in this third quarter. Josh Edwards dominating the hit-outs at the moment. 11 hit-outs for the day. He's only had the 5 disposals, but his work around the ruck has been very solid against the likes of Williams and co. Josh Edwards from 52 metres out. It's long, it's straight, it's home. The Demons crack the ton early in the third quarter. Joshua Edwards, he launches one from 52, and the Demons get around him. As we see here on the replay, 16-6 to 4-7. It's the Demons by 71 points early in the third quarter as Josh Edwards launches one from a long way. And isn't he delighted? And so are the Demons teammates, Matty Chechens. They are on a roll. 71 points, 11 and a half minutes gone in the third term.
Yep, they have been electric forward of the footy at the moment. So how will the Eagles respond? Williams just having a word. Clay Hall on the ball now. Tom McCarthy also in the middle as well. So the ball up, one by Williams this time. Parfitt, Constable dispossessed. Parfitt applies the tackle on Hall, got slung. Quick hand pass out of congestion. They turn it over again. Hall, what can he do this time? Handballed off to a flat-footed McCarthy and they turn it over. Harding again. Can't sing his praises highly enough. So the Demons, rare miscue on that outer side. What can the Eagles muster this time? A little bit chaos, tumbling ball up towards right half forward. More numbers. Again to the red legs. Maybe that kick was intended for Harding. Even the big fella couldn't reel it in. Dewar links up with a teammate. Inside 50, better. It'll be a tough set shot for the Eagles, but they finally get some clean ball out of the middle. It's taken them 13 minutes in this term. And this will take a very good effort. Goals very tough to kick at this end of the ground and that pocket here at Mineral Resources Park.
That was much better ball use by the Eagles out of the centre. They struggled to dominate Perth in the clearance work, and finally they've been able to dispose of it effectively.
So the set shot on its way. Is this the response the Eagles are after? It is. Well, it's taken the best part of 13 minutes, but the Eagles managed to kick their first major of the term. Josh Burke kicks his first of the afternoon. A couple of miscues in that first term, but makes amends. That was a tough set shot and just what the doctor ordered. So 5-7, they still trail. A big mountain to climb halfway through this third term. Mineral Resources Park, season opener on Good Friday. 16-6, the Demons. Williams could only slap it into the path of Parfitt. Taking a good tackle to Constable. Byrne, he might run into three Eagles. Shrug two, three tackles. Lowers the eye, spears it to Clark. And they all flock to Corey Byrne, and for good reason, because he shrugged at least two tackles under heavy duress, put it lace out to a diving, sprawling Aaron Clark, who takes the gully catch. And another chance now for a set shot major. Clark to join Kane Johnson with 5, if he can kick truly here. So the immediate response from that previous goal from the Eagles. He had a tremendous 2025. Comes in and sends it straight through the big sticks, and he has 5. So Clark, such a reliable set shot, shows it here on replay. Kick 1 in the first term, and then he's gone with a double in the second and the third as we're back to the middle. Williams has given them first use in the footy and likes to slap it out. Here comes Hewitt, just shirks off with the don't argue. Kicks indiscriminately and going back with the flight of the ball and wearing one. I think that might have been Elijah Scoble. He has given away the free kick. As we have a look on the replay, it was a kick 2-on-1 in the end from Hewitt, and as you can see, going back with the elbow and giving away the free kick, and Scoble gets up rather gingerly, and the free kick going the way of the Eagles, and Josh Burke, who's kicked their only major of this term, with a much easier proposition than his one on the 13-minute mark of this term. Comes in, puts it over the goal umpire's hat. So again, Paul Persick, we're going goal for goal just in a short period here, but the Eagles trying to get some traction.
Burke with an easier set shot, and that just pegs the margin back a little. They've kicked 2 goals to 5 in this third quarter. We certainly didn't anticipate the margin to be like that, but credit to the Demons. They have been tremendous all around the ball, and the Eagles just not being able to have an answer. Byrne and Constable, in particular, they've been unbeatable with 20 disposals apiece. And Burke, 6 marks and a couple of goals, 3 kicks and 2 goals for Josh Burke in his first game of the season. 108 to 43, it's a 65-point margin. Gone back and forth between 65 and 71.
Clay Hall shouldering a lot of the load too, Paul. 16 disposals for him, and he's also laid 5 tackles, which is the team high.
Speaking of the Devil,
Yep.
Here is Horn. He gathers possession. His handball just wide of his teammate there in McRae, but recovered well enough to give it off to his teammate, and who almost got his head ripped off in that tackle. It's a free kick. Hein Baston not too happy with that, but I think the umpire was spot on there.
Well, I'm not sure if he slipped before he was met with the tackle. He's going to have to come off for the blood rule, so he's obviously caught one up around the face, around the nose,
Tom Gross.
potentially. Yeah.
So Tom Gross has to come off via the blood rule. And we're seeing Corey Hitchcock, former Demons player. He's going to take the kick. And coming on is Thomas Edwards-Baldwin, the former Subiaco player. Had a stint at Kingsley early on in his junior career. So he's on the ground. Might emerge as maybe a loose man in that Eagles defensive 50, or he's going to be picked up by Parfitt. So Hitchcock will take the kick. It's on left centre wing. No leads presenting, so he has to go long to a contest. Williams goes with a big fly. Couldn't hang on to it. Handball smothered. Demons converging in numbers and forces a stoppage inside the 50. 19 minutes gone in this third term. You're live on 7+, and you can check out all the match stats and team stats and player stats on the official WAFL app throughout 2026. Hurried kick towards the front edge of the goal square. Awkward bounce. Scoble rushes it through for a behind. And also Colts and WAFL W this season. You can see it live on YouTube throughout the 2026 season. But 7+ is your home of the league action throughout the next 6 months of football, starting today. And the Demons, they've really made an early statement. And there is 1 quarter still to go. High ball, Williams with a big leap. He's paid the mark. He did take it on a couple of grabs. He was the only big flyer in that contest. Edwards went up a little too late amongst that pack of players.
He's been a rare shining light for the Eagles in this term. He's won a lot of hit-outs and taken a good grab.
Big fly there from McCarthy. Couldn't hang on to it. The Demons converging in numbers. Constable slides into the turf. And that'll be a ball up just inside the Eagles' 50. Well under time on in this third term. Marriage hanging off the contest here, looking for that loose ball. Goes to ground, Williams, Hewitt from the boundary line with the left foot, 2-on-1, off hands, and it will be another throw-in the forward pocket for the Eagles. 3 goals in the first quarter for West Coast, 1 in the second, and 2 in the third. And that's been their biggest concern this season, the Eagles, for mine. The Demons winning 11 third quarters, and the Eagles only 2 in 2025. So not pretty reading if you're an Eagles fan, unfortunately. Out of the contest, Constable working hard and getting pushed out there was Phillip. We'll have a throw in. 64 points. You're just joining us here on 7+. Beautiful day for football. The crowd out in full force today on this Easter long weekend. The start of the WAFL season. Edwards knocks it down to Constable, who hurries the kick out of the defensive 50. Going back and taking a terrific mark was Edwards-Baldwin. Only just came onto the ground mere minutes ago. Edwards-Baldwin, with no one presenting, is going to set it up out towards the kickoff line. Williams, the big fly. Ball spills out front. Gets out to Johnston. Pulls it back around the body. And that's a great goal for the Eagles. That's his...
Well, let's have a look at the crumbing skills. Harvey Johnson played 17 games in 2025 with just the one goal, but average 6 marks per game, but it shows his crumbing abilities there. His first very tidy snap around the corner, and that brings the margin back to 58 points. So he's 8 disposals today, a little quiet on his average, but managing to hit the scoreboard. Almost 23 minutes have elapsed. Another goal here for the Eagles just to try and get a little bit of traction as we head towards the home turn here at 3/4 time at Mineral Resources.
Credit where credit's due for the Eagles. They've had an okay third quarter. They've equalled their haul in the first quarter with 3, but the Demons just with more class and discipline.
And they look to inflict more pain as Wills gets corralled on the outer side, has to receive ground, but they maintain possession to Perth. Ball didn't reach its intended target. Snap out of congestion there from Cashard off the side of his boot. The Demons, I'm sure, will take the stoppage, and as will the Eagles defenders. A chance for them. Corey Hitchcock to take a breath. From Albany, down in the Great Southern. Did spend a few years up here playing for the Demons. As we've got the ball to be tossed in. Ticking up towards 24 minutes. Up went Edwards. Slung in the tackle. Risky to try and take the ball through the middle. That's a dumping tackle. Here comes Johnson. Can he kick his 6th off his non-preferred left boot? And that fades through for a minor score. He has had plenty of sights this afternoon and attempting to fill his boots, and why wouldn't he? Here come the Eagles looking to pick through this Demons' impressive lineup at the moment. Chest mark taken by Datsun, the former South Fremantle player, just burns through the middle. Ball up towards left half forward, going through, maybe getting high with Phillip, and now the umpire did spot the high shot, and it's going to come back to the Eagles as they'll get a late chance to load up from left half forward. Footy in the hands of Harry Barnett, West Adelaide former player, the Bloods. Similar colours, obviously, to the Demons, his opponents today. Speaking of, here they come. Taylor, I've seen him take so many bounces today. Just goes for territory. Brief reprieve for the Demons defenders. They're queuing up. This is Hall. Draws an opponent. Floats the hand pass over the top to Datsun. A couple of touches from him, but that not his best effort. And the intercepting mark taken by Charlie Dean, who has been impressive on debut.
He certainly has been. He's really taken to the Perth game plan like a fish to water. Hind Baston receives the short pass. And now they're going to go across the face of goal here. That's good planning there by the Demons. Now they've got plenty of loose men in the back half. Phillip goes over the top. Davis. A rare lapse of concentration there from his Demons teammate, but Phillip comes in for support. Has a touch of the butterfingers, but he's able to recover. Dishes it off to Singh, and they're just going to play for a bit of territory here. Dean running from the face of goal. He's got some targets forming. Spots up his teammate in Tomasini. Rare touch for him today. From half-back. We'll send it long. Floating ball up towards centre wing. Great pick up there by Jack Williams. Hurries the kick up towards half forward. 4-on-1 situation here, but it's going to be the Eagles that'll win out possession. Cipriani, good hands out to Williams, who hurries the kick. And it goes only as far as, guess who? Baxter Phillip. It's definitely been one of their best in the back half, and that's well spotted by Phillip. Finds his man in Riley Wills. He can go by hand. Davis long, lures the target. At full stretch, spills off his hands. And the Eagles again will go out of the defensive half. Grego, up and under kick. And Watt was the man for the mark, but he had 2 players on him. Lucasen sends one long, 1-on-1. Burke in front. Good spoil from Singh. Dean comes in to accommodate Singh with the handball, and now Taylor. Taylor with a bit of time and space, he can just chip it over the top with ease. Dean's had a great day on debut, 1 of 6 for the Demons side this afternoon. Of course, Schlensog out until at least round 3, likewise for Lockie Payton. Hindbaston in the pocket. They're just kicking and marking for territory at the moment, even though there's still a quarter to go. Beautifully smothered by the Eagles player, but it's well recovered by Tomasini. The smother came from Bazzo. Byrne, he too has had a great day. Johnston, safe pair of hands. Kane Johnston with 5 goals for the day. Well, he's pushed up the ground a little bit to add a little more marking prowess. Floating ball intended for Clark, couldn't keep it in play, and we'll have a throw-in. Throw-in on the Demons' right half forward flank. And they lead this one by 59 points.
How good was that kick from Byrne? Because Clarkey just put it and dropped it like a pitching wedge right onto the green next to the cup. That was superb disposal again from Byrne.
Certainly was. Just to sum up how clinical the Demons have been after the first 10 minutes. Sliding onto the turf was Edwards Baldwin. And we'll throw it in once more. Beautiful conditions. We had a top of 28, 29 degrees today. That's obviously cooled off a little bit. The Demons have handled it much better this afternoon. 28 and a half minutes gone in this third term. In front, Barnett won it down. Hall under pressure. In fact, that's Grego, I should say. Gathered by Klasky. Sends one up towards half forward. Fist from behind. Well done by Datson to get it out to his teammate. They're under pressure here. Marriage needs to get rid of it. Gets it out over the top. They get it back to Marriage. Marriage sends one long to the outer side. Lucasen was the leading target for the Eagles, but the spoil from Watson sees it over the line. 29 minutes gone. Demons lead by 59.
Very late term. The Demons only just slightly taking their foot off the gas. 6 goals in the first 2 terms. They've kicked 5 in this third quarter. Williams did well. Looks for Hall with a sweeping hand pass. And he's got a lot of room in front of him. Could almost run 40 metres instead. Time is of the essence. Slaps it onto the boot. Up towards the pocket and couldn't complete. The juggling mark was Josh Burke out of play. Bailey Williams resting forward. He's had a pretty good third term. Winning a lot of hit-outs. Not too many to advantage if you're an Eagles supporter. So the Demons flood back, looking to lock it up. Dying embers of the third term. Harding to the flat-footed Constable. Straight up. And the ball will come back. Mark taken right on the paint of 50 for the Eagles. So they're saying slow the ball down. And he'll be going back.
Lucasen there with the marker.
Yeah.
You had to fade and dive to the ground.
He's had a very good last 10 minutes, Lucasen.
He has, yes.
So we saw a similar goal from the angle out there from Burke earlier in the term. This one a lot further out. Kicked 4 goals from 17 games last year. Averages 4 tackles, 2. Distance, not a problem, nor the accuracy. That's goal of the day. Superb. Shannon Lucasen. Well, some of his big forwards were misfiring, and he says, well, this is how you do it. Went back, and as soon as it left the boot, Paul, there was no question of distance whatsoever, and that sailed comfortably through.
It certainly did. Shannon Lucasen, one of the more impressive goals of the day. 6 kicks, 5 marks, and his first goal of the day. And that's the Eagles' 4th, their best quarter in this opening round clash. 53 points the margin as we approach the 3/4 time siren. The Demons have got 5 goals in this quarter, and all in a space of 10 minutes. So have they taken their foot off the gas? Not really. The Eagles have just started to play a bit better football compared to the first and second quarters. Considering that the Eagles, as I said before, only won 2 third quarters across the season. Out in the centre, Williams and Harding. Ball spills out to the advantage of Harding. Gets it out to Klasky. Klasky hurries the kick inside the 50. Hacked off the ground in the direction of Hall. Hurries the handball into space. Klasky couldn't take clean possession. And the Eagles are on their way. Hitchcock, his kick to a 2-on-1. Sliding in was Dean. He's completed the mark just before it hit the turf. what a debut so far for the former Collingwood player. He's added great experience and flexibility to that back line. Singh is marked. The breeze just picking up a little bit here on this Friday afternoon here at Mineral Resources Park.
Long term.
Certainly has been. 32 and a half minutes in this third term. Long ball from Phillip, down the line to a contest. Williams goes up, the big fly at the back. Parfitt on the end of it. He can go over the top to Baxter Gray. Centers the ball magnificently to Lewis. Angus Lewis marks uncontested about 30 metres out from goal. And he'll be going for number 2. And to make it another 6-goal quarter.
Second time this afternoon that Lewis has effectively just turned his back on his teammates. He managed to find the big sticks earlier in the game, and there was 2 players streaming back to a vacant goal square. So the big man from Kellerberrin.
4 kicks, 4 marks, 1 goal for Angus Lewis today. This for his second. And he slots it. Lewis with 2, and the Demons with another 6-goal quarter. So Angus Lewis slots through his second of the day as we have hit the 33.5-minute mark of this third term, as you see on the replay. Beautiful set shot. Gun barrel straight from Angus Lewis. And he is one of 4 players, Matt, to kick multiple goals this afternoon for the Demons. And the margin is out to 59 points.
Well, Clark and Johnson, 5 goals apiece. Paul Wills, the crumbing Riley Wills, 3 goals, and Lewis now with 2 to go along with Bodle, Edwards and Kluski on
49
debut.
Points. 49 points,
Yep.
correct me there.
It's early in the season, Paul. We'll get there.
Yep, always the cobwebs in round 1, but it seems like the Demons have dusted them off pretty quickly. 34.5 minutes gone in this third term. Oh, heavy hit there on Kirk. He recovers well. Handball intercepted. They get it out to Williams. He's 65 out from goal. He pulls the trigger from a long way out, and the big man has slotted it. And right on the 3/4 time siren, that'll bring a spring in their step for the West Coast Eagles, although they're a long way behind. Bailey Williams with his second goal from 60 out right on 3/4 time. And the scoreline 18-7 Perth, the West Coast 9-8-62. And the Eagles, it's their best quarter of this afternoon's encounter. But they did score 1 goal less than the Demons in the third. The Demons, of course, equaling the first and second quarter with 6 goals in that term. Clark and Johnston with 5, Wills with 3, Lewis with 2. And for the Eagles, Burke with 2, Bailey Williams with 2, second coming on the siren 3/4 time, and singles to Hewitt, Johnston, Lucasen, and also Jack and Tyler Williams. It's 3/4 time here at Mineral Resources Park. Good Friday football, round 1 of the Sullivan Logistics WAFL Premiership season. It is the Eagles trailing 18-7 to 9-8. Three-quarter time here at Mineral Resources Park. Good Friday football as part of round 1 of Sullivan Logistics WAFL Premiership season on 7+. It is a 53-point margin in favour of Perth over the West Coast Eagles, 18-7 to 9-8. Paul Persick with you alongside Matt Chechens. And Matt, again, dominant third quarter by the Demons, but later in the term, the Eagles started to pick a couple back.
Entertaining footy, wasn't it? 11 majors kicked in that term, so the writing was on the wall. But then credit to the Eagles, I thought Bailey Williams was superb. He's got 2 goals, but he gave them a little bit of drive through the middle of the ground, and then he went further forward, Paul, in that third term, and provided to kick a couple of goals. So plenty of positives to take out from the Eagles, but obviously still a big margin at the moment to try and overcome. Clark 5 goals, Kane Johnson has 5, Wills 3, Lewis 2, Bodle, Edwards and Kluski on debut. And having a look, it's just that drive through the middle, but also off half back as well, Paul, because the Eagles have 7 more inside 50s through 3 terms. However, the Demons have been so good this afternoon in rebounding from their defensive 50, that category 35 to 18, so almost doubled. And a highlight has been that run and carry through the middle. I think Corey Byrne has been superb, hasn't he? He's a polished ball user as well. Constable's at the coalface, he tackles, he gets clearances, so does Parfitt. And then they're just going to be a handful for any team going forward when you consider they've still got a couple of big players to come back in and a key marking defender in Schlensog as well. So it's going to be an interesting 4th term. Can they run it out? It's very hot down at ground level. It's reaching almost 30 degrees around Burswood and Laff Lane this afternoon here on Good Friday. So we'll see just how much each team has in the tank, Paul.
The temperature hasn't really dropped off a lot,
No.
or if at all, this afternoon. It's still at 29 degrees, which is quite warm, all things considered. But the Demons, they've played the conditions a lot better today. Even though the Eagles, they share this ground with the Demons, the turf is nice and firm. It's just the Demons' ball use from midfield and their work off half back too that has really got the better of the Eagles in this game.
But you have a look at the crowd today. I mean, obviously, we've got a WAFL W game coming up after this as well, but there's no Colts or 18s beforehand, so the locals have really come out. There's plenty of Eagles scarves that you see around the ground as well, and the Perth faithful is just a really good buzz at the moment, and the place to be is Mineral Resources Park. This might break maybe the attendance record for these 2 teams against each other.
Yeah.
We might just have to have a look at that, but as you can see on the ground at the moment, a bevy of bodies of locals up and about at the moment. So without sounding like Captain Cliche, the first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be crucial, because whether Perth just continue and blow this game out of the water, or the Eagles, as we see the supporters in numbers making their way off the ground, or if the Eagles make a bit more of a fist of this and get the first couple of goals.
Yeah, you could be right. Those first 5-10 minutes will be crucial, although the buffer is still very handy as far as Perth is concerned. 53 points, as we alluded to earlier. Number 7, Connor Singh in the back line. He also has played a good role in that defensive 50, working in tandem with the likes of Scoble, Phillip, Davis and Dean.
Having a look at that, I mean, that's a big number to be taking in that defensive 50, isn't it? Because Michael Sinclair made that his throughout his entire career. So maybe a shout out. Maybe they did play a lot of footy together, and Connor Singh has been fantastic, and he's ably supported by a couple of gun recruits,
including that historic night some 6 years ago against South Fremantle, where they made the finals. And of course, they made the finals again last year. Can they do it again this year? Well, they're starting off on the right note. There's 1 quarter to go. Can the Eagles make a fist of it, or will the Demons continue to blow this game out away? Here we go. Final term underway, out of the centre. Constable gives it off to his debutant teammate in Kirk. Long ball up towards half forward, and going up, taking a wonderful mark, is that man again. Guess who? Kane Johnston. He's going for number 6. What a game Kane Johnston is having. And straight away, he's not hesitant to pull the trigger. From 53 metres out. Long kick. Great kick. It's 6 of the best for Kane Johnston.
It's amazing having a look at the numbers for Kane Johnston. 5 games last year, kicking 2 goals. He's kicked 6 in this, so he's kicked 8 in 6. And just a fantastic effort. Still more to come. He's had 12 kicks today as well. That'll land into the breadbasket of Marich. Toes that further down the line towards Hewitt and provide a bit more run as well. Inside 50, can they get the immediate response? Williams' ball just fell into his lap. He was sitting on his backside, so the Demons have to try and pick their way through a little bit of trouble. Diving on the footy, umpire blindsided, no prior. We'll sift through the carnage, throw it up 30 metres out, bang in front. So the Eagles to the right of your screen, it's to their club HQ. Big park end of the ground. Williams tries the deft little touch, didn't work on this occasion. The Demons just straight down the middle. And it's going to be a foot race as the Eagles stand tall. They negotiated that well. Dewar on the end of this kick. He's got 20 metres of space as Wills closes him down. Can't get to him in time to affect the kick, but it's going to go straight down the throat of the ever-reliable Matt Taylor, who has friendly jumpers lining up through the middle.
He hasn't lost a spring in his step, hasn't he, Matty Taylor? 144th game. He just keeps playing like he's a 20-year-old.
Well, Scoble lets his team down and turns it over immediately. So what can they muster from this? Hewitt. The kick barely travelled the distance. Taylor on the mark. He's questioning the umpire where to stand. So Hewitt just wheels out to his left. That's a good stabbing pass inside 50 and a rare miscue from the Perth defenders, who have provided a pretty good contest in the air throughout 3 and a bit terms. And the uncontested grab, we haven't seen many of those this afternoon for the Eagles.
It's one of those moments in defence where Perth just seemed to miscue the kick going into the corridor, and that was a rare moment, a rare lapse for the Demons, if you will, on a day where they've been really good against the Eagles forwards.
So ticking up towards 4 minutes. We've only had the one major kick by the Demons. We won't see that from the Eagles, as that's 3 for the minor score. 9-9 to 19 goals 7 as Taylor plays on and kicks horribly to Williams, who couldn't take the mark. Blind hand pass over the top. The Demons will look to dispose of the footy a little cleaner. Davis thumps it long, high. Dewar with the spoil off his knuckles, out of play, right in front of the Eagles interchange bench.
Just over 4 minutes gone in this final term. It's been a while as well since the Demons kicked 20 goals or more in a game, and okay, it's against opposition that they've had the wood on 3 of the last 5 occasions Perth have beaten the Eagles, including a draw here 3 years ago. But Perth kicking 20 goals, they know they've made a statement here this afternoon in round 1. And that is out of bounds on the full, according to the umpire, off the feet of Elijah Scoble. And that'll be a free kick going the Eagles' way. It's on right half forward. And it'll be taken by Tyler Williams, who's got 1 goal. Tough angle, so he'll look to set it up to the hot spot. Covers plenty of distance with the kick. Who's going to be the big flyer? Well, neither of them are. Players going to ground after the contested ball. Will toss it back up.
Paul, Charlie Constable leading the possessions on the ground. 29 of those, Byrne with 22. Taylor now up to 20 for the Demons.
Constable's picking up where he left off. That got him the Sandover medal last September. Have another ball up, a couple of repeat stoppages, which have been rare in any of the forward 50s in this game. Even though the margin feels like a blowout, it has been a very entertaining game in some aspect. A lot of free-flowing footy. Chance now for Kernett, the former West Perth player, throws it onto his boot and gets his first goal. It's Asher Kernett in 2026, the former West Perth player. Picked up as one of the 4 new faces in the side. Throws it onto his boot, took advantage of the loose ball, and has got the Eagles' 10th goal of the afternoon. And they trail by 10. It's a margin quite comprehensive when you're looking at it. But it really hasn't taken long for the question you posed, Matt, to be answered earlier. Is the Eagles going to make a fist of it, or have Perth blown this game out? You could say that both have been answered in both ways to an extent. The Eagles, to their credit, just continue to put in the effort. Clearing out of the centre. Goes only as far as Gray, who spills the mark. It was an easy one to take. Lucasen with the left foot, only as far as Hein Baston, going back with the flight. Takes a good contested mark inside defensive 50.
Wouldn't have been easy too, because there's some big key forwards in that forward arc for the Eagles, so courageous mark.
Cloud cover over Mineral Resources Park, but the forecasted rain should elude us for the remainder of the afternoon. Harding, he's been good in his debut, and his teammate mopped up in the gang tackle. And we'll have a ball up in front of our broadcast position. The conditions a bit cooler at the moment, more comfortable for the players. Williams fails to get boot to ball. Parfitt working hard at the contested ball, but he is stopped in his tracks by two Eagles players. 19-7 to 10-9. Here in the 8-minute mark of this final term, you're live on 7 Plus, home of all WAFL League football in 2026. Kick into space. It's occupied by three Eagles players. Datson is one of them. Needs some support in the form of Marriage. He gets it. Advantage is paid. Marriage's kick up towards full forward. Williams was the lead. That's Jack Williams. Even numbers at the coalface. Davis getting involved. Great work by Davis. Got it to his boot. Only as far as Dewar. Wheels onto the right foot. His kick partially smothered. Gets to the hands of McRae. Up against Phillip. Comes out the back. Kirk. The kick out of defensive 50 is well executed. They've been brilliant today, the back line. And Bodle has marked on left half back for Perth.
Brilliant composure from Kirk, wasn't it?
Certainly was. In his first game too, obviously the experience at the Sydney Swans and the VFL side has certainly paid off. Constable dispossessed, but Harding, great handball like lightning.
Oh.
And Klasky, unfavoured by the bounce, but he did get some support in the form of Cashard, who chips it toward the leading Clark. Just the teamwork that the Demons have put on today has been nothing short of incredible, is the word you can describe it. Aaron Clark is looking to join Kane Johnston with 6 goals.
Scrubbing at his nose a couple of times in this contest. The umpire right there, so I don't think there'll be a blood rule. And also a couple of players from Perth just on their haunches at the moment with a bit of cramp setting in.
It's a reflection of the work that they've put in this afternoon. Clark from 55 metres out. It's not going to make the distance. Players will fly. One of them is Johnston. Roving it out the back now. He's one of the Eagles players. Gets past one and has to step over the other. Handball chopped up. Watson does well. It comes out to Davis. Davis from the boundary line. Just got the kick away in time. Almost reeling in with the one hand. It gets out to Parfitt, who pulls it back around the body. And that is the final dagger. Brendan Parfitt, he had a great end of the season, played in that elimination final when struck down with the flu, but he has started the season in style. He's amongst the leading possession getters and has got a goal to boot.
Well, he was top 3. He averaged 29 touches of the Burleigh last year. Paul, only bettered by one other, and obviously his teammate in Constable was a part of that Geelong team, obviously back in 2022, that premiership win. He was the tactical sub.
Thank golly that rule is gone.
And managed to actually kick a major in that 4th term with his first touch. So just showing his nous, his experience. Parfitt. $20 goals. 27, the Demons, to 10 goals. Paul, leading possession winner for the Eagles, couldn't get clean use of the footy on that occasion. High up and under from Kirk. Just looked out for a bit of vacant turf. It's a 2-on-1. Marriage did well, went to ground level, just cleared a little path for Dewar. And he shows his toe. 2 bounces through the middle of the ground. Little lackadaisical on the kick. He's going to ask a lot. Singh tracks the bouncing footy back. Does well to Kirk. He's had some great moments. And all of a sudden that outer side opens up. They bring it back into the middle. And Marriage was all over it. Read it. Kicks inside 50. Trying to show some good closing pace was Watson. Just couldn't manage to spoil that kick or affect it in the end. And another player with cramp hits the deck just off screen at the moment. And the hand pass is going to be received. So flying shot for goal across the face of goal. Will it score through the hands of Hitchcock? And through just for a minor score. 10-11 the Eagles. Perth rampant. 20 goals, 7. That margin now 57 points.
12 minutes gone in this last term as the ever-reliable Taylor will bring it back into play. Has a bounce before giving it off to Singh. They work it out with the 1-2. Well-directed handball over the top to Kirk. Gets back to Singh, who covered about 60 metres. And here's kick, intended for Edwards. Takes it nicely with the second grab. Spots up the leading Clark. Lewis is lurking in that 50. So too Bodle. On the overlap, the kick was a little too much for Bodle. Great pick up by Burke. Inside defensive 50. Marriage can go over the top to Burke, just inside the boundary line. And Burke marks on half back. Short pass finds Bazzo. Sweeping handball over the top to Marriage. He can spot up Hitchcock across the face of goal.
Had a good impact in the second half, Marriage. He's done a
Certainly
lot
has.
under pressure.
Certainly has. The marking player gets around Byrne. They're using the corridor now, the Eagles. Hall. He's got the mark, gives it off to Watt. And now the Eagles can set up towards their forward 50. Taking the mark on his chest, not paid. Cipriani just hitting the turf before Cipriani was able to reel it in.
He tried to dupe the umpire into that, and we could see from about 120 metres away that ball bounced. It's good umpiring.
Now they've been right on the spot today, the 4-umpire system being used. Klasky can't escape the Eagles tacklers holding the ball. And a free kick will go to the blue and gold. And the free kick looks like it's going to be taken, I think it's Thomas Edwards Baldwin, unless I'm very much mistaken. This for a 51-point lead, if he can steer it through. In fact, I am very much mistaken. Cipriani, who's going to take the kick. A couple of interchanges from both sides. Wills and Johnston back on after a spell. So too the reigning Sandover medalist, Charlie Constable. Now this for the Eagles' second goal of the quarter, to make it a 51-point margin. Cipriani in his first game for the Eagles. On the paint of 50. It's straightening up. He's got it. Cipriani's first goal in the WAFL.
Cipriani gets his first goal. And the Eagles, a rare moment in front in a term. They have kicked 2 more behinds than the Demons, 2 goals apiece in this 4th term. We're about halfway through that as Williams decisively whacks it towards Hewitt. Great tackle from Kirk. And manages to win the holding the ball. He's having a 4th term to remember on his debut for the Redlegs.
I've really added on some great balance in midfield through Kirk and also Klasky. And that really makes the Demons a lot more of a flexible, balance-orientated side.
Known for his clean hands and his work rate at VFL level. So here comes the Demons through Watson. Chest mark was dropped right near the padding of that behind post. The umpire says that's a throw. So the open palm slap out from Parfitt, and or might have been out of bounds. One umpire was, maybe they're calling the ball in, because the umpire's conferred, so maybe the throw happened while the ball was out of play, so they get the decision right in the end. So not too many players around the drop of this footy. Williams, clever tap. Dewar, probably the most consistent performer, you would say, as is that man Hall. Back to Dewar. That kick just almost scraped the goalpost. In fact, it is. It's out of bounds on the full. So the free kick in the pocket.
Wills.
So Wills has kicked 3. He's looking to do the team thing. He's looking inboard. Some of the fans on the fence, including some of the youngsters, some of the locals, are like, bend it around the corner. And that's what he does. And he hits the belly of the ball. And it goes all the way from back where it came from Dewar's boot, out of bounds on the full. Bit of an anticlimax.
Does feel that way, but the margin's still 71 points in favour of the Demons as the Eagles go across to the goal mouth and find Marriage. Definitely one of their most impactful this afternoon as Marriage drops it short. Hitchcock spills the mark. Parfitt, right for the pickings, can chip it over the top to the direction of Wills. He gets cleaned up by Marriage. He comes off worse for wear as Bazzo takes it over the line. We'll have a throw in. Marriage still down on his haunches, slow to get up from that last one-on-one contest. Nearly 18 minutes gone in this final term. The Demons begin their season with a very good win, but the Eagles, to their credit, they made somewhat of a fist of it during the third quarter. But that second quarter, the first and second quarter, in fact, really was the turning point in that game in the Demons' favour. So West Coast looking ahead. They've got West Perth in 8 days' time, or 9 days' time, and that's here at Mineral Resources Park. In fact, their first 5 games are here as the home team. And for the Demons, big test, the reigning premiers South Fremantle over at Fremantle Oval. So that'll be a big test to see if they can match it with the likes of the Bulldogs and Claremont, who they struggled to beat on both occasions last year. As the Eagles have the ball on half-back, Hitchcock, Williams, and now they work it back to the defensive 50. Hitchcock back on the lead. He spilled a mark earlier, but doesn't do so.
It seems as though they're just treading water at the moment at half-back, Paul.
Yeah, it looks like it. Hall. Hall is marked. Centering kick. It falls into the arms of Parfitt, who's been good this afternoon. Centering ball. Byrne running back with a flight of the ball. And he marks just inside the paint of 50. Looking to do the team thing. He does. Just short of the leading Clark. Loses his ground. Still gets the handball away. 1. Out to Kirk for his first goal in Demons colours. He's done it! Indy Kirk with his first goal in the red and black. And snapping it around the body for his first goal in the WAFL and in Demons colours. And his teammates getting around him. That is always a great sight to see. They really are a united outfit. The Demons. They're on their way to a very impressive first up win for 2026. 21-7. It's been a long time since they've kicked 20 goals. You definitely have to look up the last time they kicked 20 goals in a game. The Demons being pushed into their half-back line, but they're able to escape the clutches of the Eagles' pressure. Gray takes the handball. He chips it down the line. Spilling the mark was Lewis, inviting the Eagles to force the turnover. Dewar gets it off to Marriage. Dewar now under pressure. Great spin move to clear. The kick to a one-on-one, but in from the side, it's that man Kirk. What a debut he's having. Indy Kirk, son of Brett Kirk. Goes across the ground to Phillip. Phillip goes over the top, asks a lot of Dean. He does likewise. Good movement of the footy here, but it asked a lot of Taylor. He ricocheted off an Eagles player, finds Byrne to the leading Wills. And Wills has marked 40 out from goal, but he's on a very difficult angle. Riley Wills, he's got 3 goals. He's in 2 minds at the moment. Is he going to go for it? He will. He had a lead in Bodle in his sights, but he said, nope, I'll just go back. To kick 4. He elects to do the team thing after all and spot up the leading Clark. He wants Clark to join Johnson with 6 goals. And they're just moving the ball around like nobody's business, the Demons, at the moment. They've still got plenty in the tank, and they're showing them how. Meanwhile, Kirk gets a nice round of applause and some appreciation from his teammates as he comes off for a spell. Aaron Clark for 6 goals straight. What a day he's having. Clark joins Kane Johnston with 6 goals. What a day for Aaron Clark in the forward line. 45 goals in 2025. And now he's got 6 in the first game of 2026. 6 goals straight, Matt Chechens, as we see here. Just a beautiful kick for goal, and he was celebrating before it cleared the line.
3 in each half. Lovely symmetry as he makes his mark in round 1. 6 goals apiece for Clark and for Kane Johnston. 3 goals to Wills as well. They've been a handful. Lewis has kicked 2 also. They've got some athletes in that forward 50 arc.
Regardless of the quality of the opposition Perth have faced, this is really a statement win, you'd have to say. Early in round 1, you have yourself a big win, you kick very accurately, and your midfielders have worked hard. They've been very disciplined, especially after the first 10 minutes when they started to come under a bit of early pressure, but they've just been clinical.
So Constable leading the disposals, 29, Byrne with 25, Dewar and Clay Hall 24 apiece. They're your leading ball winners, as we've only got 10 or so minutes remaining. We're into time added on, and the umpire says play on as they transfer it out wide through Plusky. They toe that boundary line now. Parfitt ran past the handball. So a hurried kick inside 50. Clark was shoved in the back. Umpire maybe on the wrong side of it. Byrne exits the defensive 50. Hurried kick. Is that going to be down the ground or a hold, chopping? It's going to come back.
It was high contact there on Noah Cashard.
So Cashard will take the free kick. Instead, he plays on by hand. The umpires will get pedantic and say bring it back. It was unfortunately drilled through the big ones, but they're going to have to bring it back.
We did play on away from the mark, and that's why the umpires had to say bring it back, please. A couple of the Perth players there saying, why couldn't you count that as a goal? Already getting onto the lighter side of things today.
It was Josh Edwards too, the man that's lurking around the back. So we reset after all of that. Will it end up in the same result? Not on this occasion. Misses hooking to the left-hand side. Minor score. 22-8 leads the Eagles 11-10. Waning moments of this round one fixture. Williams. Beautiful fanning kick out wide to Jack Williams. And biting off a little more than he could chew was Caleb Datson. He stalled and he got run down. Byrne comes the other way, lowers the eyes, and off hands. That was pretty good work in the end from Luca Grego, who was up against it, managed to hook his arm around, put the ball out of play. So Datson running into rather a bit of trouble. Unlucky not to have it back sailing over his head. Ball in. 25.5 minutes played. Shallow toss in. Edwards, won it down, two hands. Goes in again, spins his way through some traffic. Constable, can he cap a superb game by getting a major? Not on this occasion.
Free kick.
Again, free kick.
Push out.
Okay, off the ball. Paul Persick was right on the scene, and Aaron Clark's going to be the recipient. A chance for 7.
Yeah, he got pushed out off the ball there by the Eagles players. More direct opponent, and the umpire was right on the spot there with the free kick. So Aaron Clark, around his body, that's number 7. Aaron Clark, 7 goals in a day out. What a day he is having. It's been a day for the Fords, and the margin is now at 70 points. And we said pre-game, Matty, that this could be a contest. The Eagles with new faces make it a little more competitive. We didn't anticipate the margin, that's for sure. But credit to Perth. They know they need to start off with a big win regardless of their opposition to really make a big statement, and they have done so today. Constable pumps it long out of the centre. No mark there to McCarthy. Hurried ball there by Bodle. Will trickle over the boundary line for a throw-in. Throw-in in the forward pocket. 27.5 minutes gone in this final term. They've been clinical today, the Demons, in almost every facet of the game. A 70-point margin over the Eagles. Certainly making an emphatic statement. Out of the congestion. Ball spills loose. It's handballed over the top. Byrne, he's had a great day as well. But unfortunately, that set shot was not.
Had the arm up, ready to celebrate, and looked to be sailing through the big sticks and must have just faded late, Paul.
71 points as we tick towards the end of this Sullivan Logistics WAFL round 1 clash. Long ball to a contest. Going back there was Cipriani. Couldn't complete the mark, off the hands of Gray. And it'll be a boundary throw-in. I'll ask you as well, Matt, next week on the Saturday, they've got South Fremantle, the Demons. How do you think they'll rise to that test?
It's always a tough place to play, isn't it? And obviously, fantastic season last year for the Bulldogs, so a good measure coming up. The 10th place team from 2025 to the Premiers, and peaks and troughs, but it'll be a good spot to see them. They're still going to be without Schlensog and potentially Patton as well, as you said, so it'll be a good test.
And not even the Bulldogs are at full strength at the present time, as the Demons try and surge forward through Davis, but he was bumped off the ball. Out of bounds on the full. But the whistle has sounded. It's going to go a little closer because they put the free kick on where the ball crossed the boundary line, whether it be, up to the level of the roof or just above shoulder height. So good positioning there by the umpire. Edwards Baldwin in front of our broadcast position. Sends this one long towards half forward. In front there was Williams. No mark. That's Barnett, I should say. And now Taylor Williams under a bit of pressure. Chance now for the Eagles to try and clear out of the congestion. They do through Lucasen. And going back with the flight of the ball, Sasha Kernett with a nice mark. And the former West Perth player. Meanwhile, Lucasen.
We'll have a look. Three players all next to each other. Two Demons and one Eagle, all stretching out cramps. So it's been a long, hard slog.
It certainly has been. But it is a long, hard season. As these teams go on that mission for a premiership. Sasha Kernett in front of our eye line of view. Slots this one. He must have snuck it in. He has. Well, Sasha Kernett with his second goal of the day. That brings a little bit of respectability to the Eagles. But they have been blown out of the park, as we see here on the replay. Sasha Kernett with a beautiful kick for goal. He's acquainted himself quite well with the Eagles side during the pre-season and, of course, today. His second goal of the quarter and his second of the game. He joins Burke and Williams with two as well. Now, they remain here, the Eagles, the next 4 weeks after this. Matt, they play West Perth on the Sunday, April 12. How do you see them faring against a Falcons side that also have recruited well and have got, a bit of new hope heading into the season?
Yeah, look, again, it's early stages of the season. Obviously, teams aren't going to be at full strength. There's a lot relying on what happens above in the AFL system, as well as for player availability and things like that. So it is fair to say the Eagles have been more competitive over the last few years.
Yeah, credit where credit is due. Hall with a probing kick up towards the forward 50, and Kernett again. Well, he didn't create enough space in the first half. He was pretty quiet, but he's been able to really make himself known inside 50 in this fourth quarter. He's looking for goal number 3 in the dying embers of this game. So Sasha Kernett will be the leading goal kicker for the Eagles today. From 40 metres out. It's not going to make the distance. Fist came from Connor Singh. Spills to ground. Great work there by Hall. He gets it out to Lucasen. Pulls it back around the body. That's a great goal by Lucasen. That's his second. And the Eagles continue to pile on the constellation goals. What about it, Matt? Lucasen, a couple of goals in the second half. He's really been one of those better for the Eagles today.
Yeah, and just showing that he can crumb a goal as well. And there are some tired and sore bodies at the moment. The team's very slowly making their way back to the middle, and another long term's not going to help them either. 32.5 minutes have travelled. 36 goals, round 1. Maybe a couple more to come, who knows? It was a long third term, maybe we've got the same. So back into the middle. The Demons looking for a late one. Constable looking for Parfitt. Awkward spinning ball for him to try and deal with. Parfitt goes back in. Off to the run now. The Demons can load up from all of outside 50. Big fly. What a mark. Angus Lewis, mentioned earlier in the call, he has got spring heels.
That's it.
And to tie the ribbon and bow on a very, very polished performance from the Demons. Angus Lewis, 3 goals for him, and the ultimate start for the Perth Demons.
What a win it was by the Red and Black. They've started off in ruthless fashion. They have won by 10 goals here at Mineral Resources Park. 24-9, 153 to the Eagles, 13-10, 88. And they have said to the rest of the competition, we're creating something big in 2026. Impressive performance by all those around the ground. Clark with 7, Johnston with 6, Lewis and Wills with 3, and 4 players for the Eagles kicking 2 goals. Kernet, Burke, Lucasen and Williams. And while the Eagles, to their credit, Matt, made a real fist of it, Perth just had a lot of class all around the ground, and they kept playing to that game plan that Mark Stone always talked about pre-season. And they have got their first win of the season. The umpires making their way off the ground. They've done a good job today. Obviously with the new rules aligning with the AFL. So a great job by them this afternoon. But really, all the plaudits going to the Demons, Matt. Let's take us through the individual numbers for this afternoon's game.
Yeah, we'll have a look at those. And the leading ball winner, no surprises, Charlie Constable, 33 touches, 17 of those kicks and 16 hand passes. He laid 6 tackles as well. Corey Byrne, I thought, was superb. Had a couple of chances to hit the scoreboard, but 28 touches for the number 4 and 19 of those 28 kicks. So taking ground, winning the footy. He laid 4 tackles as well. Indy Kirk, what a debut it was for him. He slowly worked his way into the game and it was superb in that back half of the third term and also in the fourth quarter. He ends up with 22 disposals, a goal and also 3 tackles. Matthew Taylor, again playing that quarterbacking general role in the defensive 50 arc for the Demons. 22 disposals for him. Baxter Phillip with 21. Jake Watson 21 as well. Parfitt, not as many disposals as what we're accustomed to see from the superstar. 19 touches and a goal. He also laid 2 tackles. For the team on the other end of the hiding today, Clay Hall was superb for them. 25 disposals. Dua had his moments, didn't he, Paul? 25 disposals. He's so clean with the footy when he does get it. Finn McRae just slowly accumulated. Didn't do anything that really caught the eye, but 20 disposals from him. But obviously not enough ball winners today for the Eagles. And if we have a look at the match stats, Clark with 7, Johnson 6, Lewis and Wills 3 apiece. Singles to Bodle, Edwards, Kirk, Klusky on debut, and for Brandon Parfitt. And the goal kickers, full multiple for the Eagles. Burke, Kernet, Lucas and Bailey Williams with 2 apiece. Cipriani, Elijah Hewitt, Johnston and the 2 Williams also, but not enough for the Eagles. The impressive thing for me, Paul, was the even performance from Perth. They didn't really take their foot off the gas at any stage. They kicked 6 goals in every term.
Impressive.
And were rarely questioned, but they... let's give some credit to the Eagles. They're no longer the easy beats of the competition in the WAFL. They will surprise the odd team here and there, and we saw that last year when they defeated the Premiers and inflicted their only loss, but they will trouble some teams this year. And the Demons picking up where they left off that rare finals win last year, and they look to build.
It really gives them an added sense of optimism, doesn't it, when the Demons begin a win like that. Their fans turned out in force today.